All right, ready? Here we go. All right, guys, welcome to the Blood Prison Shakedown 1 year special. Thanks for joining me. We'll get right into it. I got a couple guests here. We're going to review the year, and it's been nuts that it's been a year. I can't believe it's been that long, and I've done this, kind of just started. I used to work in radio, so I kind of want to do something just fun about Halloween, haunted houses, and this is what we've got. And so I want to welcome in my very first guest I ever had on the Shakedown, which is David House, Great House.
Hello.
And, of course, the warden's widow, Andrea, is with us as well. She's my mainstay here at Blood Prison. You see her all over everything. Go to TikTok. There she is. It's kind of hard to avoid her. But thanks, you guys, for coming in. I appreciate it. How you guys been?
Good.
Good.
Yeah?
Real good.
House, what have you been up to?
Well, man, there's been a few movies this summer and that I worked on doing special effects for and playing a character, which I can't announce yet, but soon. And let's see, the whole year at Creature Core as well.
Couldn't give me an exclusive, huh?
Right. No, it's not yet. I gotta wait, those guys. But we did wrap up some cool movies and some work on the projects, and spent the whole year actually for Creature Core getting out Halloween orders.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. I'm right there with you.
You know what? I think you've seen me there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
And Andrea every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we're hanging out at Dembski Creations area.
Yeah.
It looks great up there. You guys have been busy.
Oh yeah, it's been nuts.
You see us a lot, the two of us.
Andrea, so before we get into the review, we also have a new Warden's Widow, kind of. I mean, it's the same character, different costume, and some additions. You debuted at Incarceration and in our video, and you even did some TikToks. How's that going so far? How's that working compared to your last one?
Amazing. A lot of people actually like the blue one better. I'm getting
Really?
that as feedback. Yeah, she almost blends into the prison now, which is super cool. I did a video with me standing on top of the roof of the reformatory, and I screamed at everybody, and it's crazy. She like blends into the background. You don't even see her until she moves. So
yeah, I saw that. I saw when we were shooting. I was like, God damn, we can't even see her. You can see her face because the costume just blends in. Like, God, it looks so cool. So we've got ideas if that's the costume next year.
Yeah,
like some things we want to do with it. But that was cool, and we got her the Gary Faye fingers. That just really added to it, which is cool. And she found a new way to use them at Incarceration because I'm like minding my business, trying to like get some food at some island noodles. Shout out to those guys. And I'm sitting there, next thing you know, I see this finger come in. Oh. She scoops out noodles. I'm like,
the widow was hungry.
that just happened. What the hell is that?
Yes.
They're very good scoopers.
Yes.
Yeah, they were. That was good stuff. So, House, we'll talk about your episode first. Thanks for being my first guest, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I figured, why not? I've known House for so long, and it was, just no brainer for me.
Yeah.
Bring House in, and you said I want to be the first guest, so
Yes, that's right.
there we go. I basically what I did is I got the highlight clips up. Actually, Aaron did it, but we got the highlight clips that we did during the show. We released the show, and then we do just one highlight after. So I just kind of wanted to go through and just chat with you a little bit, see how things have changed. But on House's end, we talked about a lot, and it's always weird because I'm trying to figure out how long these shows are going to go. There's no time limit really, but let's check out House's clip. Work acting in a haunt, running a haunted attraction, traveling on a haunted attraction tour. I mean, you've done all this. Then you jump into movies, and it all goes, it all goes kind of hand in hand. For someone who anybody that's fascinated with coming to haunted attractions or working in haunted attractions, they kind of get an idea of, what you've put in and what you can put in to kind of make something like that happen. I mean, what would you give, somebody that's just trying to get into it like you did back in the day? I mean, how different is it? I guess is what I'm asking for from then to now, and, maybe any kind of advice you can give somebody.
You know what? When I was coming up, like, to find another special makeup effects artist.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got to get to know this person.
Yeah.
Like, can I visit you? Can I pick your brain? Can we share information?
Right.
That was like, 1, 2, 3, 4 people that you found over a course of years. I could probably have 1,000 friends that are all makeup artists on Facebook.
Yeah.
Whether they're haunted makeup artists, pro makeup artists.
Right.
They're makeup artists.
Yeah.
They do it and they love it. I know 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So, 100 at least.
Easy.
I mean, here
Yeah,
alone.
easy.
I mean,
Yeah.
so everyone does it now.
Yeah.
all right, it's cool, but the game has changed. Also, I mean, my advice is, well, first off, start off at the haunted houses, take pictures of your work is key, build up a portfolio. So whether it be an online portfolio or an old-fashioned, book. What
are those?
Yeah, right. Pictures, pages.
Screen.
And just, and constantly refine your work. The haunted house thing, you have a tendency to kind of also get stuck with the haunted. Like, okay, just cover it with some blood. It's kind of like an easy fix. Or, oh, it's a haunted house. It doesn't matter, Like,
Right.
oh, it's dark. No one will see it.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
you kind of have to go past that, and you kind of have to start refining your work. Today is a lot different because the world of makeup is... Before you had a straight makeup artist, then you had the special effects makeup artist.
Right.
Now they're the same.
Yeah.
You got to do both. So if you want to stay in the business today, if you want to be in the business or excel as a you want to, try your shot. It doesn't have to be Hollywood, but like wherever they're filming a television series, Georgia's hot, New Mexico, Vancouver, name the spot. Ohio's not too bad either.
Yeah.
So, all right, I have to now do straight makeup, corrective makeup, beauty makeup, smoky eyes, eyeliner, eyelashes, a nice cheek, good lip.
Be versatile.
You have to be versatile. Oh, yeah. Well, I also have to do an extremely realistic looking wound, or I have to make tattoos, or now I have to do prosthetics, and now, the prosthetics now are so incredible. Like, human, there's still like human noses and jowls and old age makeups, and that stuff's still prevalent. So you really you got to step up your game now.
Right.
Like before, you can get away with being a little cheesy and still kind of get in.
Right.
Not anymore, I believe.
Yeah.
There's more, you have to do both. Before, you could do one or the other.
Right.
Now, the straight makeup person is also a special effects person, and vice versa.
There we go. So house here. This is something that I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. But do you watch something like that and like, Jesus Christ, I was an idiot. What the hell am I talking about? I do that all the time. I don't like what I say. Like just in that first episode, I was like, oh God, I'm so horrible.
Yeah, that does exist.
Do you like watching yourself on camera?
No, I don't.
No, neither do I.
Even like with everyone wants to talk about like face-off episodes.
Yeah.
I watched them once when the first airing, and I didn't watch it again.
Yeah.
I didn't like rewatch it to look at myself how cool I was, or go down memory lane. Once was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we talked a lot about your special effects, face-off, all that good stuff. Still pretty much doing that then, yeah? Still doing the special effects. African Witch coming up.
Well, yeah. Well, two big questions. Special effects, yes, always. I really love the special effects because, you start the project and it ends within a month or two. So you get like a whole new script of ideas that are exciting, something that you would not, put in the time and effort to write and develop. But hey, we need this, we need that, and it's kind of exciting because it begins and it ends. It's like it's a new challenge for you. So I love the special effects always.
Right on.
You mentioned African Witch. Well, that's my directing, producing, writing debut, and we're hoping to show it this. Well, we're going to premiere it in Zambia, Africa in September. That's not officially announced, so no announcements here until they want to announce it. But heading back to Africa at the end of September, dates to be announced to show the film, and then we'll come back and there'll be some dates in Ohio and other.
I was gonna say we're gonna do a screening though, right?
Well, I mean, there will be a screening. Yes, a VIP.
I want to see it before the Africa thing.
You will. It'll be a VIP, a test screening, VIP. Yes, present companies invited. I'll let you know when that happens, but that's like that's just top secret.
That's fine because I'm not going to Africa, dude.
I will definitely go to Africa. So
we're bringing it back.
I don't like flying, so I'm not going over there.
It's fine. That's fine. I'll bring you back pictures.
Now, speaking of special effects, now we're not going to call you a special effects artist, but Andrea has been taking makeup classes on our team and did some makeups at Ink Forest.
Yeah.
What do you think? Are you digging that?
it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Matt is a wealth of knowledge, so just being able to learn from him, I feel like is a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
The airbrush was completely foreign to me. I mean, the first time I tried to even mess around with my own face, it was like blotchy, just horrible. So it's easier to do it on other people, and I hope to be able to do more for the season. I'm trying to figure out the timing of the widow.
Yeah, getting her.
costuming.
Yeah.
Because I'd really like to help out more. It's a lot of fun. I really like it. So.
Yeah, Matt told me, he's like, dude, she's cranked out some good ones. So
Sweet.
you're on the right track.
Cool.
You know, next thing you know, you'll be mere widow.
Okay, so funny story.
Yeah.
So I have this event that I'm doing in August at Eloise Asylum. It's for a book signing. Obviously, Matt's not going to be there, so I'm like, I'm going to have to learn how to do this. I tried it, and it is the worst makeup I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, man.
So I had to reach out to one of their makeup artists, and they're going to help me out. But yeah, it was, I thought I could do it, but there's
You got
no
any pictures
way.
of it?
I do.
You going to show me later?
I can't.
That's sweet. I want to see them. We won't show them here.
It's pretty awful, though. I sent it to Brian. He was like, what the hell? It's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So, yeah, there's...
new storyline to the widow. She's on crack.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it looks like.
I'm just kidding. I'm just busting your balls. All right, cool. So that's good stuff. Second episode we did here on the Shakedown was with a guy named Abe Robinson, who we all know. Blind 7, does a lot of videos, photography, and all that stuff. Has done our videos last couple times. Abe is one of the sweetest guys you'll ever meet. He's so easy to work with. I don't like telling him to do. He always asks me stuff, and I'm like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "It looks good, man. I mean, what do you think?" You know what I mean? So that's always hard for me. Like if it's actors, makeup effect. The way I ask me, "Well, do you like it?" Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That's garbage. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. But he's like that. He's one of those guys that will value your opinion and give you the, well, hey, it's your show, Vic. Do you like it? I'm like, yeah, I'd like it. I hate giving people notes. I've been doing that recently with him. And I'm just like, can we do it like this? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. He's just one of them really easy guys to work with. Want a haunt video? Check it out. Blind 7. He's great at it. Let's see what we talked about.
So you said a few minutes ago you were a haunt actor at one point.
Yes, I was.
So let's talk about that, man. What did you do? Where did you work?
I worked for Nightmare in Painesville in the early-ish mid-'90s. A buddy of mine was like, hey, man, what are you doing this weekend? You want to make $2? And I'm like, $2? Doing what? And he was like, oh, yeah, come on up. We're hiring actors. And I was like, actors for what? And he's like, you want to get covered in blood or not? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So, so I ended up going out there working a couple weekends, and the pay, it wasn't for the pay. Like the 90s haunted houses were not for the pay.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even consider it a real job. And it was like, it wasn't even my first job. So I was like, but it was the first job where I was like, man, I get to scare the crap out of people.
Yeah.
And, I had already been an artist for a while and my art was already scaring people. So I was like, this is a perfect example of, me doing something I love. I worked there, and then that was pretty much the only place I think I guest acted one night at Fair Experience.
Okay.
But it was just for fun because I ran the photo booth there too. But Nightmare in Painesville is my only home for acting. Was my very first night. I was a Chucky.
Okay.
After they shut down, this is Nightmare in Painesville got shut down because they had an abortion clinic. That was my very first. The very first.
They had an abortion clinic in the haunt?
Yes, they did.
Oh.
They also had like a Vietnam thing.
Oh my God. They're just going after all of it, weren't they?
Yeah, they were a haunt that would set up at the Painesville Fairgrounds for like. Just for the season. So it was like a build it, tear it down at the end of the season thing.
Oh yeah, I know that.
And every year they tried to like give one like super shocking scene. And it just so happened that the year I worked there was the year that they like tried to go way overboard. And as much as I love pushing the envelope, that all got shut down very quickly. And then it was all over the news and stuff. So they shut it. They didn't shut the haunt down, but they closed down those rooms and routed everybody. And so I got to wear a Chucky mask for the rest of the weekend. But my first job was throwing body parts.
There you go.
Baby body part.
I remember that.
I was going to ask you, House, did you ever go to that haunt?
I worked there as a guest actor in their beginning years. So we knew the owner, and actually one of my fellow Legionnaires was managing it in their first year.
Yeah.
So we came up and acted and kind of just for a night. Where it was before they became fabulous, but yeah, I know those guys, and I remember saw them the growth of that show, and then I remember that show.
Doesn't that just bug you though? That bugs me when someone says, "Well, we had to shut this room down because we did this in there," and it was just like, I mean, people kind of know what you're getting when you come to these. Everybody knows that you go to a certain haunt, it's going to be like more of bring the kids. What do you think of that?
I think if you have like a show that's built around shock value, if you if you say no children and this is going to be sensitive topics, but I ultimately like the topics they were dealing with. I like there to be a bit of fantasy in my haunted house.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into political issues or real life traumas. Hell houses, drunken driving. Give your body to Christ, any of that. Mm-hmm. It's like, let's have fun. And go gory and all that stuff. But also, let's keep an element of fantasy about it all,
Right.
Versus like shock just for the, news, But there's I get it. Like, I would probably see a haunted house too that had like, the drive-by shooting room and, things like that, Mugger's Lane, you get mugged going through it. And, it's kind of different,
Yeah, Mugger's Lane. Let's not let that evolve into something. Jesus.
That's hey.
You don't do that in Blood Prison. Let's clarify that.
You've seen it where people get locked in boxes and like torture houses and things like that.
The one across, it used to be just on the other side of Mansfield here called you remember Rob Wynn, the clown dude that worked with us in Crestline. He had a haunt, and you had to like get into like a coffin, like how it started. You got into a coffin, and they closed the coffin off, and like you're just like, and then you had to like go out the back of it or something. It was really kind of neat. Cool. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Different kind of claustrophobia type of thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's kind of a neat twist to add to it. But yeah, Abe was great. And by the way, if I don't get to everybody on this, I got a list of, so I'm kind of just going through it. It was great having everybody on. I've been trying to get to everybody. But if I don't, I'm sorry. Sorry, drinking beer. But yeah, we're going to try to hit as many as we can. Because honestly, I don't remember what we talked about. And when I started going through everything, I remember looking at going, holy shit, I forgot we did that. You know what I mean? Because there was just a lot of them. So again, thank you guys. Next guy we had on here, we all know. Another guy we all know. House knows, has been in the tour war trenches with this guy.
Yes.
Rick Thomas of Mushroom Head. He's also runs the Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse, and he's got a new haunt opening up in Cleveland this year called Nightmare Cleveland that they're building currently. And I had a chance to go up a few weeks ago and check out what they got going on there, and it looks great. I mean, they're going to do good. You know, yeah, it's going to be cool. It's in it's right off Brook Park Road. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're gonna do really well. But he told me this really funny story because I asked him if he ever used his stitch mask in a haunt before, and he was like, "Well, I did one time, but it was kind of dumb." And then I believe he talked about tripping on acid and working in this haunt, guest acting one night when I think they were on tour, and he did it. But let's check it out. Did you ever do? I'm assuming this is probably a big no, but would you ever do like Stitch in a haunt, like wear that mask? You ever done that?
No, and I've been asked to, and to me it's just cheesy because that's not a character that to me makes sense in a haunted house.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't, because that character belongs on the stage doing what that character does on stage.
Right.
To then be in a haunted house would just be weird to me.
Sure.
There was one time though that I did, but it wasn't anything other than we played this radio festival in Arizona, and it was on the property of Fear Farm. Mm-hmm. Probably heard of Fear Farm.
Yes.
They're out in, is it not Phoenix? I can't remember. It was Arizona. But
somewhere in the desert.
It was a big radio festival. Deftones were on it. We were on it. Fucking tons of people. And I didn't know that it was on the property of this haunted house. I thought we were on this farmland. Like, no one had told me all day long that there was a haunted house, like, less than a half a mile behind us. Mm-hmm. And then I kept seeing these two, like, all day. just because it was hot as hell, it didn't really go farther than like the stage to watch other bands and like the catering tent. But there's these two like clowns walking around. And this is back before every clown out there had the green and purple hair everywhere and the striped socks. It was Tremors and Flinch. That was their like actor names, but they were like the main mascot clowns for Fear Farm. And they were like passing out flyers and I'm like, what do you guys like? Because right away I'm like, oh, some people dress up like it's Halloween. I'm gonna go talk to them.
Right.
You know, like, what are you guys doing? Like, what do you guys dress up like this? You guys like playing tonight or something? Like, what's your deal? And they're like, no, we work at the haunted house over there. And I'm like, huh? Haunted house? They're like, yeah, Fear Farm. It's like huge place over here and it's massive. And I'm like, well, I know what I'm doing after you're open tonight. Like, yeah, we're open. I'm like, well, I know what I'm doing after 8 o'clock when I'm done.
Right.
So, fun story. I dropped acid.
Nice. Always fun to do going into a haunt.
I dropped and stayed in costume and had the time of my life.
The acid helped, man.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have obviously a Halloween costume, but you know, I just went in and yeah, I was just like tearing it up over there. They had like this part where you went underground and it was all full of like those ball pit balls.
Yeah.
Like literally like up to your waist. And this is huge.
That's pretty killer.
Underground cavern with like a big ball pit. So I was just like in there. Like it was like me and a couple other guys were just like in there hiding in the ball pit, like just tripping, like laughing our asses off and like jumping out.
That's amazing.
It was pretty fun. One of the most memorable times. That was the only time I acted in a haunt in the mask.
Yeah. Well,
that was already, geez, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
And then, yeah, 13th Floor bought into them too. I think
really?
13th Floor owns part of that now, or they produce the show there. I can't remember exactly. I think they own it now, but great show.
All right. So let's hear it.
I demand we get a ball pit now.
No, I want to know what you've done in a haunt. You ever haunted, stoned, tripping like Stitch, or like house? Come on.
I plead the fifth. Yes. You know what? I have, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, I really like the adrenaline, natural adrenaline, and I don't want any intoxicants.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But it puts it kind of puts like like you're almost. I felt like you're looking at a screen versus like being in the moment. I was more like an observer. Okay, intoxicated. Let's say. Okay, you pick the drug, but more of an observer versus like a participant.
Yeah,
you know. You see the difference? Like
watching, I get it.
Like, oh, wow, versus like, wow.
Well, we have a long-standing rule here, and the widow knows that you don't come to the haunt drunk or stoned.
I'm with that. And there are haunts that drink, and I find it a little stupid. Like, why are you guys drinking? You know? There's accidents and
that's for after.
Liabilities.
That's for after.
Afterwards, all night long.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, if you are a guest at a haunt, if you are going through, have you ever done it that way? Widow?
I don't think I have.
No?
I don't think so.
There was this thing they wanted me to get stoned and go through a vortex, or they wanted me to eat mushrooms and go through a vortex. I'm like, no.
Ugh.
First of all, I don't do that. I haven't done that in many, many years. So that would be, I wouldn't even make it to the vortex tunnel. I'd just be running out of the haunt probably first round.
I support all of that. Intoxicants going through, sure.
Yeah. You ever done that?
Yes, of course, Vic.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
Well, hey.
You know who you're talking to.
I know, but I want stories, House.
There was a haunted house that we had in Hinckley, Ohio. We did the Hinckley Haunted Barn, and there was a gentleman there, rest in peace, who would have vials of, I shouldn't even be saying all this stuff, but it was 25 years ago.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Literally, like, dropping on our tongues, okay?
Yeah.
Liquid. And the place was covered in 3D type painting.
Yeah.
And we would just, like, trip balls and like black light, everything's black light with the chroma key stuff, and it was like, whoa. So yeah, we would totally, that was like a weekend event every weekend.
It's rough, man, because like to hear him talk about it, it's like, oh, that's so funny, and then I mean, to hear us talk about it, that's great, but like I hate it because when somebody comes through the haunt and they're just like and I'm sitting there like, and you start getting the calls on the radio. There's some drunk idiot up here. He won't leave the house. I'm like, oh, God damn it. So then you got to call security in and go get him. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. So it's kind of a mixed situation for me. It's fun as like if you're a younger person, you think to yourself, oh, hey, let's get stoned and go to the haunt, or go to a haunted house. I don't know. Maybe that was just me, when I was younger. I'm sure the widow here is innocent.
I swear to God, I actually am, though. I'm like such a goody two-shoes. The craziest I've ever gotten while in character was during incarceration this year.
Yeah.
Some guy was taking a picture with me. He was like, you want a sip of my beer? So I fucking took it and chugged it.
Oh, man. That's too much, man. So you were drinking on the job is what you're saying. I was guilty, too. I drank a couple. I mean, I bought around. That was the funny thing is like, we go, I try to buy a round for everybody at least once. And I was like, who wants a drink? And, I was like, oh, shit, that's going to be $100. You know what I mean? Because the drinks are expensive. It's not just Ink. It's anywhere you go for a show. The drinks are through the roof. So that's just like, you get one. You get one for me. That's it. All right. What do we got coming up? A lot of people we had. Speaking of incarceration, we just wrapped that up a short time ago, like a week and a half ago. We did really well. I'm so like grateful that Ink lets us open the haunt and kind of be a sideshow to incarceration because it was really cool. You know what I mean? To be able to do that, and it's kind of our crowd and everything. But we did really good. People always ask me if they can come to Blood Prison, just come to the haunt. I'm like, no, you got to have a ticket to Ink. Mm-hmm. So I'm always using the opportunity to put that out there that got to have a ticket to Ink to come. But we had a lot of people, like I got a lot of messages. Is the widow going to be at incarceration? I'm like, yeah, of course she is. Of course, yes. So we got people coming to the haunt this year that are coming just to see her.
Absolutely.
Yes. So how does that, where do you fit in on that, Andrea? It's like, like once that all happened, you had to been like, what the hell's going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I still remember the first time I walked out the doors, and this is back when we had the whole family.
Yeah.
And we walked out and everyone was like, there she is. And I was like, holy shit, they're talking about me. Like, what the fuck? Like, and then it just took off. Like I had some guy, I'm trying to remember. There's a guy from England that messaged me and he's like, I usually do a haunt tour when I come to the States. You're on it this year. Like, I want to see your haunt, blah, blah, blah. Like, England, that's fucking mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like, holy
cool,
shit. Though. Yeah, it's really cool, but it's like, I'm just playing dress up and having fun. Like, it's so crazy that all these people are just cool, behind it and think it's so cool.
Yeah. We got coffee with her on us. Look at this coffee. Yeah. The widow coffee.
Yeah.
Dark brew.
That's great. Seeing her billboards and it's really cool.
It is cool.
My nephew, the first year she started coming up here, Andrea, and went through the haunted house, and I was like, hey, what'd you think of the prison? I like the Gigantor the best, the Warden's widow, whatever he called you, but he was who he mentioned immediatally,
That's cool.
Forget the prison, it was you.
That's
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's cool.
That's pretty bad when you're overshadowing the prison.
Right. Like people are coming from England to see her, not the prison.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it's just like, it's cool though, because for the longest time, it's always been about the building, and it still is. Yeah. But it's like, because you can't ask for a better building to do a haunt in. There's other prisons. Schoolhouses are cool.
Yeah. But
you can't ask for a better building. I don't think so. Mm-mm. So so it's it's growing that way, and it's fun. It makes it a lot of fun. Yeah. If you go to Transworld or pretty much any convention, you're going to see this guy, Tater. I had him in for an episode one time. He was like the 4th or 5th episode. So we'll let's get the Tater clip ready. And I asked him about where I knew asking that he wasn't going to tell me exactly the actual story because he never tells anybody the story. But I asked him where Tater came from. I was like, where did that come from? And this is what he told me.
I've known you for a few years now. I've known you as long as most of them have, and I've never asked you where did Tater come from.
Well, there's many stories out there, and everybody tries to get that information out of me.
Yeah,
I will say that the only ones that know are my brothers, the true story, and they're taking it to the grave with them.
I gotcha. Okay.
I could fabricate a lie for you if you want me to, but
it's all good.
There are a lot of people, and I like to mess with some people, and I tell them different stories.
Yeah.
And pass it off as fact, and sometimes I will occasionally pepper in
a little
the truth.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is like I will tell you one story, I'll tell somebody else a different story, and they'll be like, "Well, he told me this," and even if I told them the real story, they think it's still the fake story.
Someone, I can't remember who, right off the top of my head, but I remember asking somebody, why do they call him that? And they're like, he'll never tell you. So I just thought, well, maybe I'll just ask you straight up. You know what I mean?
When I was a kid, and as we did, and when we were going to school, we went to a potato farm.
Yeah.
Which sounds as exciting as it actually sounds. And where they would show us like the potatoes, or like how to pick them, and then they would bag them in the plants, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, where we were in the field, and they showed us how to unearth a potato. I was mesmerized by that or something, and they left me behind in the potato patch.
Right.
And they continued on with the tour, and then realized in the next step, hey, we don't have Scott.
Yeah.
And that could be one of the stories.
Yeah. You know what? I don't.
I'm sitting there listening, I'm like,
Yeah. The real one out. No. So ever since elementary school, it's been the nickname Tater.
oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one. Go ahead and cut that one off. Yeah, there you go. I'm not buying that. It was funny that he told that story and it had something to do with a potato. Have you guys ever met Tater?
Yeah,
him?
he's committed.
Oh yeah,
He's committed.
he is.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked a lot about. It was funny because I think the show we did with him, we talked about Transworld a lot because everywhere you go you see Transworld as Tater there at Froggy's Fog, and he also worked at Scare Factory, which has a lot of people. There's a lot of bad things about Scare Factory. I don't care to say. I mean they're kind of they rip you off. Simple and plain. They rip me off. I'll say it. I don't care. But so we talked about that a little bit, and he'd worked for them, and he got out of there and everything. But Tater's a good guy. I enjoyed having him on the show. He's been everywhere. He's very well traveled. And Froggy's Fog, it's what we use here. So yeah, that was a fun episode. How did you guys first meet Tater?
Man, just I think probably Midwest Haunters conventions back in Columbus, which was like a raven party. If you've ever been there?
Oh yeah.
It would like turn into like a more of a costume contest of just like people dressing up and just filling High Street up in Columbus. Great time. So I met him there, and and obviously we ran around in similar circles and Ohio Haunters, and we kind of know each other,
Right.
But yeah, actors know actors.
Sure. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, Midwest was. I miss it being in Columbus. I really do.
We would rage that place.
You guys went out to Chicago this last time. Yeah. How was it out there?
Gas was really expensive. It was good. It was actually my first year going. We saw Tater. But yeah, it was really good. We had fun. We just went for the night, got to catch up with some friends, and kind of just let loose and have fun instead of vending and doing all that.
Was it a good show?
So.
The floor, was it good?
It was decent. Yeah. It was a lot smaller than I expected, which Brian said it was downsized quite a bit, but it was more social for us than anything. So
I think that's kind of how it's always been. Like even when it was in Columbus, I mean, the ones I went to, we vended there at Creature Core a couple times. Yeah. And we kind
of kickstarted our business there.
Yeah,
as far as the haunt business was it.
But we didn't kill it.
No, we didn't.
No. But we had fun.
Yeah,
I mean, we always had fun.
Yes,
I always had fun going to Midwest. It's right in our backyard, so that was good.
Yeah.
Speaking, we were just talking about incarceration, I'm going to show this other clip here. We did actually. I went live last week or during incarceration. Not on the Shakedown. Well, I mean, it was on the Instagram channel. So we went live. I got a new tattoo, and I said, "Hey, I'll go live, and we'll do it, and I'll go live while I'm getting it." So I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's the finished product right there. Can you see that, Aaron? Yes, no, maybe.
1 second. I'll do a cam cut. So just hold it up. Hold your arm up.
Hold it up like this?
You're going to do a flex. Yeah, now turn it to, there you go. That's it.
It's upside down. But
but that's the vibe.
That's the finished one because I didn't finish it when we were live.
Yeah.
So I was like, tune into the next one and I'll show it. So that's what I got, a Halloween piece. And that's the first one I got in ink. Did you ever get one in ink?
No.
No?
I was working.
You don't work the whole day.
Well, no, but then I'm drinking and having fun. So
Incarceration is a fun event.
Yes.
I mean, I look forward to Ink every year. I know Andrea does. Pretty much the whole crew. It's honestly, I'm surprised we don't get more people wanting to work it.
yeah,
You know, not that we didn't have enough. We had plenty, and they were great this year. I mean, we did really well. The last 2 years, we did decent. But it's such a fun event that they put on. It used to be called Ink and the Clink when it first started, and then the people that ran Ink and the Clink kind of went their separate way, and then these other people came in and kind of took it over, and called it Incarceration. And it's kind of exploded since Incarceration has taken over, because now there's bigger bands. Like this year we had Korn and Breaking Benjamin, Disturbed, Evanescence. Last year we had Slipknot, Rob Zombie, you know, and the list goes on and on. So it's gotten bigger, and they're really cool people to work with. Danny Wimmer Presents is kind of in on it now. So, and they're still cool with like, yeah, run Blood Prison. They want us to do well, and, you know, and it's really great working with them. And I talked to a guy named Dan Jansen, who was with it from the beginning of Incarceration before Danny Wimmer Presents got on board. And I talked to him a little bit about Incarceration. This was, I think my 4th or 5th guest, but let's check it out. So if you're coming to Ink this year, you're going to notice some changes. Stage is going to be bigger. VIP sections in a different area.
Yeah.
And your stage 2 is now right beside stage 1, yes?
No, stage 2 is
okay.
actually, yeah. So we expanded the grounds this year by about 150,000 square feet. So
Yes.
As you probably know, Reformatory Road is going to be closed down for the weekend. The
Correct.
fence line's expanding all the way to the woods. So for
That's
those
killer.
that don't know,
Yeah.
we expanded quite a bit. So stage 2 is actually going to be over where in that parking lot over there.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
yeah, stage 2 will be there. Stage 1 will be main stage, obviously in the same spot.
Yeah.
VIP over against the building and all that patio area there.
Yeah.
And then stage 3 over in the circle lot over there, as I call it.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
circle
the West
grass
Circle.
lot. Yeah, the
Yep.
circle lot. So
That's cool, though.
So yeah, and it's a bunch of other stuff that we're working on. So I mean, we're literally every day just trying to find out cool new things to like bring this year. The good thing for us is we sold out in a week. So it was like once the show was sold out, we're like, hey, you know, now we got some time to really just work on the festival and the experience and try to upgrade every area we can. And just, we want people to come this year and just have that holy crap moment of like walking in going, oh my gosh, like it's been so long since I've been to a concert or a festival. And if this is their first one back, it's going to be one that for them to remember. So
Yeah, that Incarceration was, that was one we talked about. That was Slipknot, Mudvayne, and Rob Zombie. And that was, it was my first show back. It was great. I mean, I had a great time that year, man. I mean, we had so much fun. Ran Blood Prison. You know, did you come out for that house?
I was out of town for that, man.
You have missed 2 Inks in a row, even though I've hooked you up. This is what this guy does.
last year was the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
They can't top last year.
Yeah, it was, they had, what was that band? I can't even think of what they're called. The Who? The
Yep.
Who?
The Who?
HU.
HU. Mongolian type,
Yes.
Badass.
Yeah, that was killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a lot of fun. I had so much fun at Ink last year. And even this year, I had a great time. But I love that event, man. It's like, I look forward to that as much as I do Halloween almost. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we always have a great time. We get to run the haunt.
Right.
Yeah. Who was your favorite band this year, Andrea?
I want to say Korn, but I was a little let down.
Really?
Probably
Yeah.
still Korn.
Korn?
Yeah.
Second favorite.
Honestly, probably Breaking Benjamin, just because I listened to them so much in high school. It
Yeah.
was fun to like listen to all the old songs and
She's
sing along. And
so
stuff.
young. I listened to them in high school.
It was actually fun though.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
House, what was your oh yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry.
You didn't come.
I was in Kentucky this year, and last year I was in Oklahoma, so I had work projects.
I got to go up. I mean, they give me, because I used to kind of run security for them when they first started Incarceration. So even to this day, like Dan will always give me an all access pass. Now I don't like, abuse it or anything. But like when Black Label Society came in, I'm like, I got to go check out these guys, which I've seen them before. But so I kind of went up and watched them. Second stage was great. But the one I missed that I regret missing was Lamb of God. And I missed them. And I think you guys left. That was Sunday night when we had all the rain.
I know we wanted to see it, but honestly, with the rain and we were tired.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, it was the long weekend.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of video of their show, and I was like, man, they put on a great show,
Everyone
and
said
I
they killed it.
totally missed it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget the ink I did see Black Label,
Yep.
Clutch,
Yes.
Corrosion of Conformity, Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah. Hatebreed. Corrosion of, you said Corrosion, yeah.
I mean, what a show that was.
That was the first Incarceration.
Man.
That was the Sunday. The Sunday was like the metal show. They almost did it like in three different, like the first night I think Bush was the headliner. Yeah. So it was kind of, not as heavy. And then they had Rise Against, and then on, I think Black Label Society was the headliner on Sunday.
Yeah.
Clutch before them.
Old metal day.
Yeah. COC, Pepper from COC came out and did a song with Clutch.
Yeah, they did Space Grass.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And they said they scratched, I remember this, they said they scratched Burning Beard, which is a great Clutch song, to do Space Grass, which is an even greater Clutch song,
yeah. And that's one of their, they got to play that, yeah.
So that was awesome.
I remember that year, Suicidal Tendencies, that was the first year, so I was like head of security. Technically, I was head of security that year, which, I mean, I wasn't like catching bodies or anything. It was basically just making sure everybody was where they needed to be. And then when shit went down, they were like, Vic, I'm like, oh shit, yes? Try to diffuse little situations, but it went pretty well. The Suicidal Tendencies did not tell us what they were going to do. They did not tell security what they were going to do. Yes. So the singer, Mike Muir, comes out and he says something. I am all the way up on the hill by our booth, just checking in. And they're like, dude, check it out. And I turn around and look around and there's just people pouring onto the stage. They're letting people come up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so I'm frantic on the radio. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And Bondo was underneath, was like my number 2 guy. And he was like, we got it. We're good. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is bad. I thought for sure, but it turned out they had planned on doing it.
Right.
So they let a bunch of people on stage. I was just like, holy shit. That just freaked me out because I'm like, great, somebody's going to get stomped. Yeah. And they're going to be like, why wasn't security there? I'm just like, they were, man. I'm sorry. Right. That was also the year that Suicidal Tendencies had a specific drummer.
Yeah.
Named Dave Lombardo.
The best drummer.
Of Slayer.
That's right.
And I didn't get to meet him.
The hell?
I was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucked. I wanted to meet Dave Lombardo.
I was on the stage. I think I was on the stage for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow I managed to get on the stage.
Yeah. That was a good show, though.
It was.
Yeah. Suicidal Tendencies. I hadn't seen them since the 90s.
Ooh, love them.
Probably when Andrea was born. That's just good, though, because we're old.
That's all right.
You know what I mean?
As I say, at least we saw the good shows, so.
Yeah, that's for true. Yeah, we could talk about music if you wanted to.
We could do a whole podcast.
We could do a whole podcast about music. Especially with Andrea telling me what I should be playing during Halloween.
Yes.
You need to play this.
I don't know who makes the list out there, but it's got to go.
Oh,
we're going to make a whole new list for this year.
I'm with you there.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Okay. Oh, awful.
Kubla Khan on there.
Oh, here we go. See if I play. I was just like, who the hell is that?
Give him a chance.
People used to tell me, Josh Campbell, too, you ever put any Cannibal Corpse on? I'm like, no. Why not? I go, because nobody wants to hear that, dude. You know what I mean?
If I have to hear one more fucking Rage Against the Machine song, I'm gonna fucking pull the widow's wig off.
I think there's only a few in rotation.
I can't do it. I can't
love
do
Rage, but
it's not about what you guys like. It's about the people waiting in line.
The people in line don't like it either.
Yeah. Keep it spooky.
Spooky. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the advice.
You got it.
Moving on.
We got you, Vic.
Okay, next guy I talked to, we have to talk about this guy because he's kind of a staple in haunts in Ohio. You know, I've known him a while. I know House has known him probably a while. I know you've worked at his haunt. It's Crazy Bob Turner from the Haunted Hydro.
Legend.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's out there, man. I mean, and I knew bringing him on the show, I'm like, I told, I think Elena was working that day, and I said, you might need to really keep your hand on the mic. You know, make sure those limiters are on because he's going to get nuts. And he did right out of the gate. I mean, right out of the gate. You know, I'm just talking to him. I was like, hey, we got Crazy Bob Turner on the show. And he was just like, bah, ah, ah. And he just starts going nuts. And I'm like, holy shit. You know, and he was as advertised. And we talked with him. He was a great guy. He's always a good guy. He's been doing it for, 40 years, 33 years at the Hydro.
Yeah.
You know, good dude, quality guy. And does everything from haunting escape rooms. He does the ghoul runnings, this thing where he talks about, he's right on the river there in the Hydro, and he does kayaking in the off season. So he does like everything. And this is what we had to say with Crazy Bob.
But you also have to have some humility, where
Absolutely.
a family that's already on the verge of saying we can't do this, we're going to leave. You know, is that really the approach that you want to be as a character?
Right.
So you have to have a backup format. You have to know how, when two people are arguing, how do you break it down so that they forget what the situation is and they're more interested in your haunted house?
Yeah.
Well, hello. It's the haunted hydro. Do you not know what a hydro is? Boys and girls and listeners out there, let me tell you, it is a hydroelectric power plant. Now, for those that are listening, come a little closer. Come on, a little closer. You got to bring that sense into it.
Yeah.
And then when you've got them, they forget what they're arguing about. Or,
Right.
you know, I mean, so as a character, you have to have a multiple capability as an actor. You have to also read the people, because some are easy targets, some are not.
Yeah.
Some of them, nothing scares me. I love those people.
Yeah.
I love those people. God bless them, because they're the ones that drag everybody else there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I want to see, okay, I know some of my people, I know some of my situations, and it's like I'll radio ahead and say, hey, free game. Do
Yeah.
what you want to do.
So yeah, he was talking a lot about, you know, building his character and, you know, how he how they do it at the Hydro as far as like making their characters. Now they used to do something there called the Monster Make Off, where it was almost like Face Off, but kind of just at a smaller level. And you were at that one, weren't you? Why don't you tell us about that a little bit, like what your character was there?
So we actually, I don't even remember what year it was. It was right before I started working here.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Ritter was the makeup artist, and I was her model or whatever. And we actually, I'm trying to remember what the order was. We did Bloody Mary for the first character, which was really fun. I had like glass shards coming out of my skin and stuff. And we had actually made a mirror that I kind of popped through and did my scream. I forget if we got first or second for that one, I forget. And then we moved on to the finals. And we did this demonic nun character that had articulated wings and stuff. I actually did it one of the nights here.
Yeah.
It was a fun character. I think we got runner up for that one. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. So
Yeah, I went to one of them. That was interesting. It was a lot of fun, you know, kind of to see that. They did one here at the Reformatory during the convention.
that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So they did one here. But Crazy Bob, man, he's been around a long time.
Yeah.
You know, House, did you ever guest act at the Hydro?
Yeah, yes, I have. And I've been friends with him since the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Good
What
dude.
an entertainer, man. You know, that's like, he's sort of a influence to me if I were like a haunt owner, you know, if I were the man, you know, like nothing gets past that dude. And he's still acting. And he works like, he knows every customer that's coming into that building. You know? He gives it 100%. And he's a great example of what you should be and not as just an actor, but the amount of care and passion that he has for the industry.
Yeah.
It's he's unmatched, man.
Well, he does. I mean, we saw him at Transworld when he got he got an award for, maybe it was like a lifetime achievement award from the Haunted Attraction Association, I believe. And I was like, well deserved, man. I mean, the guy's been doing it, you know, for a long time. It was I was technically the second haunt I ever went to was the Haunted Hydro, you know, and because where I'm from is not real far from Fremont. So I was like, when it, you know, first started open, we were like, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Great haunt and legend actor.
Yeah, great guy. I mean, he's just the nicest guy, and he's just so, you know, he's a genuine dude. And the way he trains his people, like, I didn't even realize this, but like, he goes, we don't have makeup, or you do your own makeup. Like, everybody comes in, and he has this big trailer with this mirror, and they all sit there and they do their own makeup. And I was like, that's awesome, you know, that you let people do that, because I would just be like, oh shit, here we go. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, I'd be like, oh God, this is going to be bad. But he, you know, he runs them through and gets them, you know, trained to, you know, how to do it and everything. And that's, you know, that's veteran shit right there. You know, how he does it. So did you ever guest act there?
One time,
Yeah.
yes. And yeah, I remember that trailer. It's literally a trailer, like
Yeah.
a semi-trailer.
Semi-trailer, yeah.
You walk up the stairs and there's mirrors and lights everywhere. And you just plop down and do your thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What did you do?
I just made it look like I had ripped my face off, basically. So it's
Yeah.
just blood.
You did a TikTok recently, I think, where it said you had to start somewhere or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the Instagram. There's like
There's the Instagram
thing
yeah.
going around right now that's like, what was your first role? That I did that makeup. That was
Yeah.
the first one I ever worked at. And I was so proud of it back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had Alice Cooper one night.
Yeah.
There.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And I got to, I catch it, like crash in the back door, and, like run on stage, Alice, and like bum rush Alice Cooper, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
bombed him, had no idea. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah. When I first went there, he had a Beetlejuice character as like his front of house type of guy. And he was, you know, just, it was funny because he was dressed up like Beetlejuice and he got us in. And I remember going through it and just thinking like, wow, man, haunts are, because I'd been to one other one before that and it was okay. And then before that, it was all just like trail, like, you know, woods, a walk through the woods, a home hunter type of stuff. You know, that was like the first one I went to. I was like, man, look at all these lights, the music, the sound, the audio.
Great
you know,
building too.
and the building's cool. Yeah, so that was really cool. Speaking of trails through the woods, there's a guy across town here in Mansfield. He's in Ontario technically, and we want to send condolences his way because his name's Ed Ewers, and his partner Boomer recently passed away. Another fallen haunter, which, you know, kind of sucks. I knew Boomer. He was a really sweet guy. Saw him at Transworld. Came to the booth. He bought stuff from us. And I sat there and talked to him for like probably 20 minutes, him and his wife, Gloria. He passed away recently, and it was sad. It was a sad situation. I went out to the celebration and hung out at the trail. You all right?
Sorry, my giraffe legs.
And, but I had Ed on the podcast as well. And, we talked a lot about, you know, just haunting in this area and the, you know, how we got to do it in a small market. But, Ed Ewers on the Shakedown. Let's check it out. So that's got to be the biggest thorn in your side is the weather. I hate it if it rains just because we have outdoor queue lines.
Yeah.
But when your show is outside, tell me about that. How do you deal with rain?
What's really bad about it is, you know, I mean, we've had nights where we've had, you know, 400 people in line.
Yeah.
And we know the rain's coming, and we're basically watching for wind, high wind and lightning. We're not going to shut down for rain.
Right.
Unless, you know, it's tromping through an inch deep of water. You know, we're not going to shut down for rain. So we've had 300 or 400 people in line, and it starts coming down, and you're like, oh, God. You know, here comes, everybody's going to storm the ticket booth and want their money back.
Yeah.
And then it starts pouring piss out of a boot. I mean, just coming down. And the crowd didn't move, not one muscle.
Yeah.
You know, and you're standing there just waiting for the storm to hit your ticket booth.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. So at that point, the last thing you want to do is close.
Right.
So then you got the balance between the customers and the actors. So, you know, now we have a little bit better plan in place. You know, we got a giant building that runs right down the middle. Mm-hmm. We can do like 3 lanes of queue line for a few hundred feet.
That's cool.
And if we get a pour down, we can move our queue line.
No, that's cool.
You know, it's a little bit different walk across the lot to get to the entrance of the show, but, you know, I think they appreciate that because they don't, you know, but they still want to go through it. I mean, it's crazy. I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
You know.
Same. Yeah, it was same here.
Yeah.
We actually brought people in one time because it was storming so bad, and it was a Sunday. It was actually the last night of our season. We did, I don't remember how many people, but it was like there was tornado warning.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, everybody in, and they came in, and we went up to Central Guard and queued them up in there. You know, the fire department was like, yeah, go ahead, it's fine. So we went ahead and did it. But the same thing. I stood out there. I seen it snowing out there one time on a Saturday, and people just stood there. They just waited in line.
It's crazy.
You know, because they want something to do.
Yeah.
You know, they know what's going on. They want to have fun.
Yeah.
It's
insane. And you get more flack out of the workers than you do the customers.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but, you know, that's what they're there for. You got to stay open.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you don't want to close no matter what. But
So how do you preserve your sets in an outdoor haunt? Because it's rain is one thing, but you're going to go through winter.
Yeah.
And we had some good snows this winter.
It depends on what it is. You know,
Yeah.
a few of the sets we want that weathered look.
Yeah, of course.
Leave
yeah.
it wide open. You know, our witch scene, we're hoping for that we could bring the sun in, just beat down on it in the middle of the woods. But
Yeah.
you know, the weathered look. You know, when you're out in the woods and you're trying to create that atmosphere, that's actually the best thing you can have. You know, some scenes, most of the scenes that we're trying to preserve them, they're under roof anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of scenes in the middle of the woods that are in small buildings. You know,
Right. So the people who are listening that go to haunts, it is a trail. It's in the woods, but you are going to go into some buildings where you've got like, you know, whatever, a maze. You got a church out there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't want to
Yeah.
give it away, but you know,
Yeah,
that's
we got all kinds of stuff. It was a big
Yeah.
mixed bag of just
yeah.
your nightmares. You know,
Yeah,
that's what
it's
it is.
cool, man. Yeah,
that's
that
what it
time
is.
we went out there, it was just like I can't remember what you called it, but I felt like I was, and that's good. You want that feeling. I felt like I was in like Yoda's hut on Star Wars.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this is really cool. You know, and that's the feeling you want to give the guest.
Yeah,
Is that they're in something different. And when you're in a woods walking through a trail, that's gonna, you know, it's one thing like here or even just a schoolhouse or just an old abandoned building, you know, that's one thing. But when you're out in the woods, you've got the elements of weather. What are you walking into, this house or church or this dilapidated thing you've just built?
yeah.
What the hell's going to run out of the trees? You know what I mean? So it can be a good place for, you know, the senses to go crazy.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, at the same time, you want this indoor show that you have preserved, and you can tweak it, and you can modify it, and you can keep everything nice, and everything's under roof. But at the same time, you know, you almost want that atmosphere too.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds would be a
Sure.
giant building in the middle of the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
And a cornfield off to the left.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, try to get it all.
Yeah, Ed's a really great guy, and the trail, if you ever get a chance to go over and check it out, definitely check it out. It's good. I know House likes him now because he's wearing a Cleveland Browns hat.
That's right. First time I noticed.
Have you guys ever been over there?
We stopped there just to drop some stuff off, but I didn't go through the tour.
No.
Yeah.
All right on. It's a pretty cool little haunt. It's like you said, it's out in the woods, and it's a longer walk than you think it's going to be. And yeah, you just go through a bunch of different stuff. He's got a really cool gag in his church that is really good. It's a really good jump scare. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, it's good stuff. And he's a great guy.
And you got Yoda's hut.
That's what it looked. You know what? It was dark, and it looked like, you know, just like that's just the first thing that came.
That's
to
all
mind.
right.
You know,
Real
fuck
spooky.
you, House.
Spooky, man. Yoda's hut.
Like you weren't scared of Yoda when you were a kid.
No, I loved Yoda. I was older than you though. But
Yeah, you're way older than me.
Yoda didn't scare me, man.
So this next one, this is one I had to talk about, just because this is like the one that really kind of the only one that really turned my stomach when we were talking.
I already know who this is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, I was just like, and it was right at the end of the show. I don't even know how I got onto the subject, but she told me this, and I was like, "You're fucking kidding me, right? You're joking." And she's like, "No, I really did that." It's Katie Lane. I had her on. She used to work for the Akron Haunted Schoolhouse. She worked there for a while. I think she's kind of just doing guest acting. I mean, she's always done that, but like I think she's just doing a lot of that now. And of course, you can see her seminars at Trans World in Midwest. She does a lot of the acting seminars and stuff. But yeah, she told me something she does at haunts every now and again. I'm not even going to explain it. Go ahead. Let's see what she said. That finger painting, if that ever happens.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there's a first time for everything. I mean, I've played a lot with like vomit and like,
Oh, jeez.
you know, real vomit.
Yeah, I figured.
You know, sometimes customers throw up, and
Yeah.
I really like playing with it.
Oh my gosh.
So sorry, tangent. I know you're trying to wrap up.
No,
but,
it's okay. We have no time frame.
Let's hear the vomit story.
Okay, so I initially ate vomit back at Bloodview, early 2000s.
You get all that? Okay.
A customer threw up, and when I'm in character, I don't really understand boundaries anymore. They just don't exist.
I get.
So I was just like, what's the most shocking thing I can do in the queue line is this customer's throwing up, and everyone is focused on this customer vomiting and not me as an actor. I'm going to go eat or vomit.
Oh.
And then that caused the amazing chain reaction. Then someone else threw up because I ate their vomit. So then it was like, I have more vomit to play with. This is amazing. So a couple years later, I was at this event called Summer Storm with a bunch of haunters. It was in Indiana, and I was talking to Tattoo from Terror on the Fox.
Okay.
About that. And at the time, he was managing Spooky World Nightmare New England out in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And Tattoo's like, I will pay you to come to New Hampshire and eat vomit
No.
for me. So I drove myself out to Spooky World Nightmare New England.
Katie.
And I think they had something like 7 haunts. It was like a scream park. It was massive. And they had like this big wraparound midway.
I like where this is going.
To guarantee that this would happen, one of their makeup staff, Crystal, spent all day eating colorful foods. She ate Fruity Pebbles. She ate cotton candy. Like anything she could that was brightly colored.
Oh my gosh.
And so the haunt's going, and she comes out on the midway, and she sticks her fingers down her throat.
Oh.
And my friend Amro is filming. He did all their social media, and he was a photographer, videographer, and stuff. And so she managed to make herself gag and throw up. And I was in slider gear. I was doing my maid, and I slid in there and just started eating her vomit as it came out of her mouth. And he filmed it, and it got used on MSNBC.
God. I really don't know what to say. I'm kind of speechless. I know Sarah's back there probably just like going, oh my God, the hell did I get myself into here? Jeez. Okay. Well,
It's hard to top that one.
I've never heard of such a thing happening. We've had some people throw up here, but nobody ate it. So I just,
It's a missed opportunity.
Well, I'm probably going to disagree with you on that one, but I mean, I'm open to anything. I'm kind of, I'm an open book, but that takes the cake right there, Katie. That's definitely going to be the most wild story so far. Yeah, you could hear me in the back like, oh God, I just wanted to stop. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, Brian will send me stuff like through like Instagram or just send me, and I'm like, God damn it, Brian, knock that shit off.
Yeah.
I don't want to. And she's sitting, I'm just sitting there just like, oh God, please just stop telling the story. What is it with Bloodview? You did it at Bloodview House. What is that?
Yeah, there was a thing with the Legion and the Bloodview, like we'd push all boundaries of, like anything goes, wasn't, and yeah, that's something that could have happened, sure, or it did happen, but I could see that.
That's messed up.
I haven't done it.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask. You guys ever, go ahead, beat that. You ever done something like that?
I've seen pukers and everything else, but I've never ate and puked. If I were younger, I can get, like, in my teenage years, I might have done something like that, but, not now.
Andrea?
No, listen, we were at the acting class today, and there's a girl that I made throw up last year in the dining room behind the table. I will not walk in that spot, and the vomit's obviously gone by now, but I will never walk in that spot again.
We had a puker at Ink.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone walked in, like, where we got, like, first turn into the house.
Yeah.
Like, just, bah! Anthony had to go clean it up. Luckily it was all fluid, no chunks. I'm like, well, but yeah, that was right at the end of the show. Okay. That was right at the end. And I'm sitting there, we had such a great conversation up until that point. I was like, this is a really good one. I'm having fun. We were talking. It was really just, I forgot about everything. We were just bullshitting. And then that happened, and I was just like, I'm looking at her just like, my image is totally blown.
And she goes for it.
No, she does, and she's great. She actually came to Blood Prison last year and did a couple of our acting classes with us. She's great, great actress. She did a guest acting with us last year as well, and she was great. I just, I told her, I was like, look, do whatever you want, but just don't eat any puke. If we can.
What would you have done if she did that on the podcast? Just fucking mouthed all over the
I would have
table?
puked. I'd be like, well, you're getting more. You're getting more because I'm going to lose it. Yeah, that was definitely the one where I was like, man, I could have went the rest of my life without hearing that, because it's not just like you said, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to freak people out and throw up. Somebody else threw up and she went over and ate it. And then she traveled to do that. That's messed up. Come on.
Well, there's some messed up individuals in this business, Vic, if you haven't noticed.
I'm sorry.
All
We
right.
have people that eat cockroaches.
No, that's true.
Trash off the ground.
So let me tell you what happened in Columbus when Andrea, you were there. So we went down to see Hell's a Poppin'. Okay.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah. Now this isn't as bad as that, but even then I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So we go to see Hell's a Poppin'. Hell's a Poppin's a circus sideshow act that we actually had here at Blood Prison in 2019. They set up their big tent and they did all sorts of crazy stuff. It was a really good show. Well, they travel around and do it, different theaters, concert venues, stuff like that. So, and I, became pretty good friends with them, and I, called them up, said, hey, we're going to come down. So we go down, we check this show out. What was it, King of Clubs or something like that in Columbus. Great place. So we get there, they doing the show, and it's great. And they call people, a couple of our people got called on stage, like George got called on stage, and Megan, Megan.
Good friends with her.
Yes, Megan. We all know her, love her. But this is what Megan did down their house. This is the same Megan that you want to go bar hopping with in Mansfield, that you're trying to drag me along.
I need protection.
This is what Megan did, okay? So they're doing this gag, this one thing. It's like this big, I don't even know what it was called. It was like this big, something they used at a hospital. They'd fill it with fluid, and there was a tube. And this guy just downs this tube, right? Down his nose or through, it's like a, what is that called? Like a feeding tube type of situation. So anyways, it goes down his nose all the way into his stomach. And we're all sitting there just like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. Well, then they get a big fucking like 40 ouncer of High Life, Miller High Life, right? And they pour that in there, and Willow's doing it. She's like, I got to pour it in there. Then they like mixed up like what, Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, there's like ketchup.
And they all pour that in there, and they just right into this guy's stomach, right? And we're just like, oh, that's kind of messed up. Whatever, no big deal. Ha ha, good stuff. Great, perfect.
Nice job.
Good job. Well, she says, well, if it goes down, it's got to come back out. So then they suck it all back out of his stomach, right? Back into this thing. Okay? Well, then they call these guests up on the from the audience up on the stage. One was one of our people, Megan, and they were like, well, let's all have a drink together. So they all pour that bullshit out of his stomach into the cups, and they all drank it. Megan just like, boop. And I'm sitting there just like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. So I saw her after the show. I go, Megan, what the hell were you thinking? She goes, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. You know how Megan is. I'll do whatever I want. I was like, all right, whatever. I go, was it bad? She goes, it was warm and it was chunky. I was like, oh. And then I about like blue chunks myself. So, yeah. Would you do that, House?
No.
I know I wouldn't do it. I'm assuming Andrea wouldn't either. No. Yeah,
it didn't even sound good. Like, at least make it something appetizing. They mixed all this weird shit with it.
I know.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it was the greatest thing ever. It went into his stomach and then came back out. Yeah. I'm still not going to eat that.
Are you feeling a little lightheaded right now?
Oh man, that was a good one. Yeah, that was fun though. Hell's a Poppin'. You ever get a chance to check them out? Check them out. Absolutely. Skipping ahead into the year, like I said, if I don't get to everybody, I'm sorry, but we did a really cool episode with Andrea the first time I had her on, where we brought Matt in. We called it Making the Warden's Widow. We brought him in, and we brought Andrea in, and we had Jen in here, I think, because she helped. We basically made her from this to the widow, and that was with your old costume. It was still pretty cool. And we just basically transformation, from Andrea to the Warden's Widow. It was a really cool episode. We got a lot of views on it. And this is what we talked about. Talk to me about how that is
because I think you prefer airbrushing, yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the difference between an airbrush makeup like you're doing on Andrea, and then a traditional makeup when it, as far as like paint or appliances, things of that nature. What do you prefer about the airbrush more?
Well, airbrush gives me, first off, it's less of a disease spreader, as I put it, for the haunt industry.
Which is good these days, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about physically being in contact with somebody. As far as the airbrush goes, it's a lot more subtle. You can do more realism, I feel.
Yeah.
Where, like when you're messing with brushes and paint, stuff like that, you're a little more hardline. It's more designed for a theater atmosphere where you're farther away. I think the airbrush closer up gives you that exactly what you're looking for type of look. You can get away with not being so hard-edged, and it seems more realistic that way too.
Yeah, well, they look great. I mean, everyone we do, and it's funny because there's like before we got the number system now where we like, number 5, and then whoever's open, they go and get their makeup done. But we would have people just line up at Matt's table because they're like, we want Matt to do it, and it's just like, look, we can't do it that way, Yeah. And all of our makeup artists here are good, and they learn from Matt, and they're getting better every day, and that's what it's that's what it's all about. But Matt, you also do the tattooing, which I know you love. So how does that exactly translate, the different style from, just in the artwork sense of it, you know what I mean? From makeup to tattooing.
Well, it's kind of similar, and then at the same time, it's kind of not. Airbrush, I'm working a little bit off the skin, where tattooing, I'm trying to push it into the skin, and skin's sometimes not as easy to paint on, or tattoo on, as it is to paint on.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. All right, so I wanted to show that clip there because I was going to ask, because you've done your own makeup, how's you been doing makeup? Do you agree or do you disagree with what Matt said on the airbrushing as opposed to a traditional makeup? Come on, here we go.
I think, all right. Everyone's got, it's like technique. It's, I like this technique, I like that and that's nice to have the diversity of technique. Mm-hmm. Okay, so not saying one's right, one's wrong, because Matt does fabulous work.
He does, yeah.
And he's, and this young lady here too. So how am I going to knock that? No, it's great. It's, it's like, who's the better guitar player? Like, well, they're both great, right? This guy does this guy does that. For me, it's finger painting. I want to get my hands in and just smudge your face. So if I did your makeup, it'd be kick-ass cool. Yeah. It'd be a different makeup. But which one's better? I don't know. They're both great. How about that? Look at that. I'm looking at the makeup right now.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Freaking fabulous. So would I do that look? No.
Well, even the one above the widow there isn't, I think. No, I don't remember. Matt didn't do that.
No, that was Stacia.
Stacia, yeah, and it wasn't air. So you're right. I mean, it's just
it's just preference.
What you prefer.
I like touching, and the airbrush is like, and I like it for finishing veining and things like that, like doing cool veins or something like that. Yeah. But I really like just physical. I really like. I'm just hands,
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you've been doing it a long time, Before the airbrushing really became that prevalent.
Airbrushing was always, for me, I just like, and I like both, but there is a tendency, if I had a criticism, I don't want to see one overshadow the other, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So if I just see all airbrush makeups on a haunt, I'm like, But
I'm the same way. I like to see, I like to see appliances on actors. Like we just started putting Ronnie's on over the weekend, and we've done that with him before. But I like to see some things 3-dimensional. You know what I mean?
And when I come here, I'm like, give me the gore. I just want the gore on people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Which, by the way, we're gonna need more of those prosthetics. Just so you know, we need to run. Matt was like, "Are we gonna do Ronnie like this every time?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And he's like, "We're gonna need more of those because they look great."
Yeah.
It looked really good.
He wears it well. He wears makeup well too.
Yeah.
So Andrea, with you just now getting into makeup, but the airbrushing, are you enjoying the transition to airbrush, or do you still like doing the?
So I think like in my own spare time, I kind of mess around with makeup just on my own face, and I am not safe in the ways I apply it to my own face because I don't need to worry about those types of things. So I think on myself, I prefer doing like the latex and wounds and stuff like that, more gore. But I think doing it on someone else, I prefer the airbrush because I don't have to touch them. I don't have to worry about how I'm taking it on or off, or putting it on, taking it off. I don't know. I really enjoy airbrushing other people though. Like I had a lot of fun at ink, so
that's cool.
So yeah.
Well, and just even going past airbrushing or makeup appliances, however you want to do it, contact lenses. We were talking about teeth in there earlier when Brian was here, like, getting teeth for people, just to give it that extra, give them that extra element of, out of this world. I love it. The more you don't look like you, the better it is for me. Yeah. That's just me.
Some of that tooth FX too. So
yeah.
Just mess up people's teeth.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's, I want to see something that like, that was so, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because you didn't recognize them. I like that personally.
Another big part of it is, you got to have a good face for it. She has a good face for it. I have a good face for it.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot. All right. You don't need a lot of makeup.
Right.
It's like she can snap in a character just like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't need prosthetics. You don't need heavy gore.
Right.
We've got it. Ah.
Yeah. House has got the lips. We called them the lips. He made this mask for Transworld this year. We called it the lips mask.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
Because it's House's mouth. You know? It's like, this is me, and it's just these big lips off there. Somebody from St. Louis bought one. He's like, what is that? I'm like, oh, that's our lips mask. And he's like, all right.
It's a pretty scary mask.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah, I like the one character you did. Of course, everyone knows it, where you have the face paint, but then you got the thorns around the eyes, and then the teeth. I can tell it's you, but man, it's just like you said, you got the right face for it, and it just it works really well. And some people just are like that. I'm more of a don't look at my face. As a matter of fact, just don't be seen. So I'll just stay behind the scenes. That's what I like to do.
You're good at that.
I like to hide in the tree upstairs.
I was going to say, we just talked about you in our acting class today, how you like to pop out of the tree.
I love that. Because all you see is my arm.
Yeah.
I can just grab somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like doing that. Right. That's fun for me. Or if I was a haunt actor, I'd be like, let me run that big, I'm the guy, let me run that big rat thing.
Yeah.
That thing's awesome. I want to do that. You know what I mean?
That's fun too.
Yeah.
Now I can't get people to do it. Most people don't want to do that.
Ashley
did good over at
Ashley
Ink.
is a fucking badass rat operator.
Yeah, right?
She's the best.
Yeah. So many different elements to the haunt. But that was a great episode, getting you made up so people could see. I mean, there were just comments like, I love her. She's so beautiful. I got a quick story for you. It was really funny. We were talking about, we were talking about it in there when you scared that kid coming out of the elevator at Ink.
I didn't even do it on purpose. That poor kid.
Scaring little children.
I didn't do it on purpose. All I did was, like, literally the doors opened and this kid just fucking shit. Like, he just,
We call him the dude. There's a guy that runs the tattoo portion of Incarceration. His name's Mike's. Really cool guy. I think that was his nephew or something. He called me and he was telling me about it. I'm like, oh, that's so funny. And he goes, how tall is that girl? Which I know you get that. How tall is her? How tall is she? I said, she's 6'7". He's like, really? She seemed bigger. She's taller than that. I was like, well, she's got the wig on. And she's got the big crown, so it makes her look bigger. But she's 6'7", just standing there. He's like, oh, man. She's one bad bitch. I was like, yeah, she is. Dude, I started creeping her out on Instagram and TikTok. She's a bad bitch. She kept saying that. I was like, yeah, she is, man. So, and then she scared a little girl outside.
Listen, I'm so gentle with kids. Like, I'll give them away. These fingers, man, they are traumatizing children.
Yeah.
Literally, I would just be standing there so chill. And then minute I would move a finger, they're just like,
what did you do to that little girl?
Literally, so she came up like 3 or 4 times that day. And me and Ronnie were like, this is cool as fuck. This girl's so badass. She was all about it, all excited. So the last time she came up, I was like, I'm going to palm her head. That bitch wanted nothing to do. Literally, the second I went like this, she fucking just had an entire meltdown, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, I wanted to like get down on a knee and be like, it's okay, it's fake, but I was like, no, it's just gonna make it worse. So I was just like watching this girl have a meltdown.
You did right just by standing there and just chilling.
I felt so bad.
Oh, dude, you should have seen it. She was bawling.
Oh, I felt so
I've
bad.
seen it. I can visualize it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, yes.
She just like,
Literally, I'm standing
all
like
right.
this, and all I did was go like
Yes.
this, and she just
That's nice.
fucking full on meltdown.
Nice.
Oh,
It was funny because I'm standing there. I don't even see you do that. I'm standing there talking to one of the girls behind the desk there, the counter we had, and I just hear this girl, and I look over. I'm like, what the hell happened? And she just looking over there. She's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, what the hell did you do? I figured Ronnie did something. No, it was her.
yeah.
I did this.
Yeah.
Literally.
I moved a finger. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that was good. Next clip we're gonna bring up is with a guy we know, House, a friend of ours from a long time ago. How I met you is through this guy, special effects legend, K of K&B Effects out in LA. We had Robert Kurtzman on, and yeah, we talked to him a little bit about what he's up to and everything he's got going on. Let's check that one out. But that worked out. So then you directed The Demolitionist. Was that 95?
Now, literally halfway through shooting of From Dusk Till Dawn, I had to go prep to shoot Demolition. That's how fast it happened.
Yeah.
Right at that time.
Okay.
So literally, the producer Don Borchers, who I'd worked with before, he had asked if I had anything that I wanted to do, and I gave him the idea, and then we kind of developed it a little, and then he's like, can you get me some artwork? So, of course, I had Bisson do up a couple comic book panels of The Demolitionist. And he took that to 2 companies and had the money in 3 weeks. So he was like, hey, we're making this movie. I go, but I'm in the middle of this other thing.
Yeah.
He goes, well, you want to do it? And I'm like, well, yeah. I got to do this movie. So.
What was that like? You said you spent 10 years trying to get Dusk Till Dawn. And then, you're like, oh, in 3 weeks we had the money. You're just
yeah.
Really?
I know, it's right timing.
Yeah, sure.
It's fine. But I had a great time making that film. And then years went by then, until Wishmaster. So it was like pounding the pavement after that, trying to get a show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of straight to, okay, so at that time, straight to video was kind of like slumming it.
Mm-hmm.
And Wishmaster came about after that and was a theatrical.
Right.
So it was really hard to, I got a lot of offers to do straight to video movies. And usually they were like sequels to something that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kept turning them down, and because I had a day job, so I really didn't care. I'm like, I don't want to do that movie. I'll be in video hell for the rest of my life.
Right. Yeah.
But things have changed since then. Television and VOD and straight to video, it's the market now. It's different than back then, where if it came out on VHS, you were like, oh, doomed, he's that guy.
Right.
Yeah. Never give him a theatrical feature again.
Sure.
So I kind of was very picky for a long time.
Yeah.
Until, and then I was like, oh, I just want to direct.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Wishmaster was cool though because it had Andrew Devoff, Tammy Loren. Is that how you said her last
Tammy
name?
Loren, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But it also had Robert Englund, who plays Freddy, of course. Kane Hodder, who played Jason in a couple of the Jason movies.
a lot more.
Yeah. Tom Savini was in it, yes. And
No.
no?
And I'm sorry. Oh, and what?
Wishmaster.
No, he's not.
He's not.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, people mistake this guy that looks like Tom.
Is that what it was?
In the pharmacy scene? I had
Yes.
some guy ask me that the other day. And I said, no, he's not in that.
Okay.
And I the guy just, we cast some extras, and he just looked like.
Maybe I'm thinking Dusk. Maybe I'm thinking
he's
Dusk.
in Dusk,
Yeah.
But he's in Demolitionist. But,
Right, right. But Vern Troyer was also in Wishmaster, which most people don't probably know that because of the character he played. But, so there was actually, as a, looking back, it's like, that's a pretty good cast right there. Now I know that one, being your first big, probably directing gig, were you stoked on that movie?
Yeah, no, it was it was a really, I'm very proud of that movie, and it actually kind of holds up. I mean, it holds up today. Even the effects hold up, which is odd because it's so old. And it was like kind of the first of the CGI stuff on when the small boutique shops were opening up doing CGI, and And so some of that maybe is a little crude, but everything else, it still holds up pretty well.
Sure.
So I'm proud of that. But and then it spawned like, 3 sequels after that or something?
Yeah.
Which I had nothing to do with. But
Right. They didn't want you to direct any of those?
No, well, I originally was going to direct the second movie.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And Andy was in the second movie, but it wouldn't have been that storyline. But what happened was it was Live Entertainment at the time. They were making the movie. Then they got bought out by a company called Bain Capital. Mm-hmm. So literally while we were finishing Wishmaster, they got bought out by a company that pretty much was scrapping the slates and pulling advertising money from our release and everything, because you know how it is when the new regime comes in and they're cutting budgets, trying to save money, restructure the company, whatever. So we thought the movie wouldn't even come out in theaters, but luckily it did, and it did okay. I mean, it was like the #1 independent film that year, but then they got bought by Artisan, that became Artisan Entertainment. I don't know how that happened. They got purchased by someone else, but anyway, all the executives that I was working with at the studio were let go. So that was they were the ones who were like, hey, you want to make the sequel? And then I was like, sure. And then when they did make the sequel, it was only for like a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want. I did the first one for this much, and now I'm going to do it for like a quarter of that.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. How you gonna do that? Right. Yeah. I mean, it's got to make sense. All right, Robert Kurtzman. Yeah. What do you guys think of that movie?
I like it. It's still good.
Yeah.
Yes.
You ever seen it, Andrea?
Nope. I live under a rock. I don't watch movies.
Yeah.
Now, how does that work?
I literally don't have time. Like.
No, I get that. No, I do get that. It's a good movie.
It is.
I didn't see it until probably like 5 years after it came out.
Oh yeah, I saw it in the theater.
Really?
Yes, I did. I remember living in LA, there was bus ads for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was pretty good.
Bus,
yeah.
A lot of good advertising for it.
And,
yeah. I was already a Kurtzman fan, by then as well. I'm like, yeah, Bob's doing a
movie. Right? Directing?
Totally, yeah.
So I met Bob. Have you ever met him?
I don't think so, actually.
Well, he started Creature Core, where House and I also work and do stuff there. He started that. He was the K&B effects before, he, kind of wanted to come home and do his thing from his hometown. But that's how I met House, was through Robert Kurtzman, the early days when, the Rage and
2005.
House and now you knew Al, I think it was.
I knew Al, I knew Matherly, I knew.
Oh, that's right. You worked with Dave, didn't you, out in LA?
Yeah, and I didn't know Gino, but I knew of him very well. I knew Bob, but Gary Jones the same. But but Al I've known since I was 15 years old.
Right.
And he had worked with Bob at K&B Effects, and I knew that both those guys were moving back, and Al called me and said, hey, we're moving back, and Bob's going to be looking for people, and you're like top of the list.
And you were back in Cleveland by then.
I moved back to Cleveland, I didn't plan on it. I just got sidetracked and stuck in Cleveland, sort of.
Yeah.
Like I didn't plan on staying, but I did. And then I was doing another a totally sidebar conversation, working in politics for a moment, and strange for I was working.
Senator House.
Hold on a second. What?
I wasn't I was
Congressman.
I was working for a congressman, Dennis Kucinich, which was great, and doing video and editing and things like that, and then I literally drove from one job to the other and came down to Crestline, and I immediately felt at home. And Bob was like, it's all yours, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it just everyone was welcoming. You were so super cool. Gino, obviously.
Yeah.
And I just came in and wow, these guys are immediate family, and I love it here. So
House for president.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I'm all for it.
No.
I'm writing you in, dude.
Oh my God! What if we just got a bunch of people to just write it in?
Yeah. Just house.
Yeah.
The house party.
All you need to know.
Yes.
House.
I like it already. I
Yeah.
got a slogan already.
Dude, those early days at the shop, you know,
Yes,
down
they were
in man, we had so much fun.
did.
We had so much fun down
Yeah.
there. I remember meeting you when I found out you were like the mushroom head guy. Yeah, I do master mushroom. I'm like, oh, fuck, no way. And you're like, yeah. And then house, like, you know, we started going to shows. Go ahead, you know.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, that was my in.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, well, this guy's cool in my book. He does stuff with Mushroom Head.
Right.
You know, because I was a music fan and Mushroom Head fan.
We had the metal connection, you and I. We had that friendship going. And yeah, dude, it was like we were friends immediately.
Oh, yeah, instantly.
Like instant. Like,
yeah.
Just wasn't no trouble.
House is very likable.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that was good. Those were good times, man. The Rage, we did the Mushroom Head scene and the Rage.
The whole movie, The Rage was
the
fun.
whole movie shooting that was such a good
No, we had a
time.
good time.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Going down to the Grip House. Well, we won't go into a lot of some of the other stuff, but we had a lot of fun on that movie. That was like, there was a lot of like, I mean, from Bob and you, Gino was on that, to like not interns, but like student people from like Ohio State that were in like the student, whatever, the production or theater stuff. And they came up and worked on it as like interns to try and get some, you know,
Scene Rogers.
Of course,
Brian
Scene.
Dembski.
Yeah, Dembski was on it. A lot of the old K&B, you know, people, Al, everybody. Man, it was just so much fun. We had a good time. I would go back and do, and that was my first time doing sound.
Yeah.
So I'm just like a ball of nerves, and I was all just, you know, I wasn't ready to do that, you know, but it turned out great. And man, it was just like, you know, I've worked on a few movies since then, but that was the most fun I had working. I'm sure you've been on hundreds of them, but
you know, I've been on 100 movies, but that was one of the most.
That was a fun one.
We had a good time.
Yeah. It was all like everybody, and I don't know if it's like that on every movie set, but like, man, it was like
Bob put
we all just
cast of characters together that was all unique and special. And we all kind of jived with each other.
Yeah, yeah, we had a good time. That was good stuff. And all like we said, that Dembski was on that movie as well. Did a lot of stuff for it, and I had Brian in for a podcast on the Shakedown, and we talked a lot about Dembski Creations and some psycho girlfriend he has. But
wow,
I'm kidding. I'm joking, of course, but not really. And here's what me and Brian talked about when we had him in. After, you know, because we did Trans World too.
Yes.
After Midwest, we all went to Trans World.
We found out that was cool. Now let's do big Trans World.
Exactly. Did that for, I don't know, a few years.
Few years.
Yeah. And then at some point, you know, I was getting to the point where I'm like, well, you know, because I'm not an artist. I did audio and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I was kind of moving on. You kind of started doing haunts in like all over, like New Orleans and Texas.
Yeah. Well, I started doing my booth by myself.
Yeah.
Is kind of what the next step or the next avenue of whatever happened. I took on doing a booth by myself that I could decorate it, make everything in there the way that I wanted to do it, my vision, instead of being kind of tied to, you know, when I did Bob's, it was kind of like I only had this little section that I could only do, and you know, I was like, well, fuck it, I just want to do it on my own so I can be me.
So it's Dembski Creations by itself.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with that. You know, it's just like, as an artist, you just want to do what you want to do. That's what makes you
unique.
Yeah. So once I did it, and I had my own look, I decorated it the way I wanted it, and I did all that. I think people took interest in like wondering what else I could do as far as the painting, creating. I mean, I was doing costumes and doing masks, and Rachel would sew them and stuff like that. I just designed them, and I was like, hey, make this, you know, and matter of fact, make 20 of those, you know, and if you're selling 25 or 30 of them, then you design something correct, you know, you're doing something right. And I always did well at those shows, and it's a risk, like, you know, and anything you do, because you don't know if it's cool enough or it's too expensive, whatever the case. So once I did those shows, I was doing them on my own. I had certain haunts were interested in me going to their haunt and making stuff at their haunt, or doing props or something at their haunt because they have stuff.
Right.
And I kind of sold myself, and I still do. I mean, you get more out of me if you hire me and put me there, and they go, you got a bunch of stuff, I'll make it there, and we do it this way. Or you buy this for this amount of money and this amount of money, but that's all you get.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, shit, let's bring him in. So I would started to travel, and that was probably 10, 11, I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And I would go down there and I would make stuff, and then I started going, well, if I can make all these cool props in this room and kind of decorate your room, let me paint your room, and let me create this, and let me paint that, and let's add this. And it just kind of turned into that. That's, it's a vision. Instead of making 10 little cool props and you put them in a bedroom,
right?
Let me paint the bedroom too, so it all cohesive, and do this.
Sure.
And make this come out of here, so it just kind of evolved into.
Yeah, because you would be gone. You weren't just gone in the fall. I remember you were gone like a lot of times, just like throughout the year, doing stuff.
I got lucky enough. I would travel down south. I was doing stuff at Netherworld, and I was doing stuff for the mortuary in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing stuff for 13 Gate, which is in Baton Rouge. I did stuff for House of Torment, and
well, they're in Texas, ain't they?
That's in Texas.
Yeah.
We did I can't remember them all. There's a couple more in there. There's one
Yeah.
in San Antonio, and it's a good feeling because people are like what you do.
Sure.
They trust that you're going to go in, and they kind of say, hey man, just fucking do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Make what you want to make, and whatever. Just keep it within budget, or whatever. And it's kind of a good feeling too that the trust is there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, like people that I've talked to that have bought your stuff before. The cool thing about, because you're still going to Trans World this year, you went last year.
Gonna be there.
Yeah, booth. What booth are you in?
Oh shit! Why would you ask me that?
I know our booth. What's up?
666. My God, it's. I'll post it here.
Yeah,
I'll tell him.
It's in the quiet zone, which I thought was funny.
And it's right by the shitter.
Yeah,
it is by the men's shitter.
It's perfect for you.
Yeah, it really. It really is, because so many people who don't know them there.
Yeah,
all these dudes that are taking a leak or whatever they're doing in there, they come out and they see the booth, and then someone literally comes by and goes, "We didn't know where you were, man, and Joe just took a piss over here, and we saw your booth." I'm like. So it's kind of a good spot. So if you're taking a dump or you're puking or do whatever, come on by.
Hangover Blues, yeah.
I'm next to Dippin' Dots, which is a whole other thing we talked about.
I remember.
The motherfuckers coming in with Dippin' Dots in my booth. I'm like, really?
Yeah, get out. Yeah.
Really?
Well, the cool thing, like I was saying, though, is I think they know that it's not going to be the same shit every year. It's like, well, we're going to go to Dembski's booth and we're going to find something like this.
Yep.
There's a piece you made for this year's booth, which is killer, which might not leave, which might stay here.
Yeah.
But they know that it's like there's not going to be another one of these next year at the booth. That's what makes it unique and great from buying from you. Is it's like I'm pretty much getting one of a kind.
Yes.
When I buy those really.
There's a few things I sort of replicate, but there's still always a little twist to it. If I put a head in a jar. It could be the same head, but I did a little something different to it or whatever.
Sure.
But
I think the showstoppers.
Oh yeah, no, this year is.
We went from
we went from showstopper to next level.
To next level, exactly.
A new level.
So these are next level effects.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh,
the showstoppers of the old days were
let's bring this bitch out. We kind of get you a little.
It's gorgeous, man.
A little something, and it has lights. It gets crazy. There's lights on them. And this guy here, somewhere on here, there's a button on this.
Oh, is there a button on there? Oh, I see a light.
I don't want to hit eject there.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
But there's more lights to it and everything. But
and that's cool because you could, if you don't want the lights, you can just turn them off. It still looks badass.
Yep. There you go. We'll just leave. We'll leave. There we go. Well, the thing when you were saying about I make stuff that's different every year. If you've been following me. for over the years, which and you know what I'm talking about. Remember, I used to do all this steampunk stuff.
Sure,
Of the gears, and
yeah.
the brass, and I used to dress up like a nurse. No, actually,
You still do.
Once or so. I used to dress up in the steampunk clothes. And everything was
I
like
remember.
that. And I feel like every year that I would do something, if it was something new, I always wanted something new. Because after doing those shows, I felt like if you weren't trailblazing, that you're going to end up just like some of the other people that are just really not wowing anything. It's the same shit, you know.
Same stuff.
Same costume, same mask, or, whatever.
Yeah, so we had Brian on, and he talked about all that stuff. And I've known Brian as long as I've known House. We all met kind of around the same time. Brian came in on probably the Rage right before that. He was also a K&B guy.
Yes.
Worked, did the molds there, and did molds at Creature Core with us. It was called Precinct 13 back then. But yeah, I love Brian's shit. I got a lot of it in my haunt. He shares a spot with us at Creature Core, and it's fun to watch him make the stuff. It really is. He's a good guy, funny, and he's got a bad taste in women though.
The fuck, guys? Jesus.
In case you haven't noticed, Andrea and Brian are dating.
What? We are?
Yeah.
What?
Thought that was on the DL.
No.
Shit.
I'm putting it all out there. I'm putting it out there.
Then everybody can stop messaging the widow. Are you single? No.
Oh yeah. She's not single, but whatever. No, Brian. It was funny though because Brian told me, I kind of have a rule. I'm like, I'd rather, people inside don't date. It's kind of a rule, But I know it never sticks. But it was funny because I didn't know for like what, a year. It was almost a year.
It was like it might have been. I'm trying to remember if it was like the first. Yeah, I think it was after the first year, like almost going into season. We were like, we should probably sit down and tell him.
Yeah. So he tells me this, and I was just like, wait a minute, what? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, when that happened? He's like, dude, it's been like a year. I was like, all right, dude. Well, you did good because he didn't. Brian does a lot of the set designing, set dressing. He's also the acting manager, and he didn't show like Andrea special treatment or anything like that. And I never even realized. So as long as it's like that, we've got other couples in the haunt. I don't really care that much, but I was blown away by that, and I was just like, oh shit, okay, well, here we go. That's a good one. But I always have a good time with Brian. It's always we laugh a lot, whether it's here, Trans World, the shop. It's always a big joke fest, which is makes it kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
BAD.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's his initials. So.
Yeah. Brian was he'll send me these things, and it's like I know he's doing it because he knows I don't want to see it, and I know he's doing that on purpose, and I'm just like, God damn it, quit sending me this shit, man.
No, I'll start sending it to you.
Yeah, I know, right? It just kind of keeps happening, but that was a good one. We had a good time on that one. Super great guy. Love having him around. He's working up with Rick actually at the new Nightmare Cleveland. He's helping him out. So he goes all over and does a lot of stuff. Really talented guy. Once we did the podcast with Brian, actually it was after Bob's, I kind of wanted to do a few with that was kind of Blood Prison oriented because it's the Blood Prison Shakedown. And I'm not making it all about just Blood Prison. I just like, just having a great time talking with you guys. So we brought Andrea back on for her own episode, the Warden's Widow episode. And, it's, again, amazing how your character has taken off the way it has. And, like, even at Inc. last year, or not last year, this year, people coming up, you're not even in costume anymore.
Yeah.
But they know, and they're just like, oh, can I get a picture? And I'm just like, oh, my God, this is crazy. It's nuts.
Who's that? What did she say?
Oh my God, that was you're talking about that little.
Yeah, what did she say to you?
Well, first she walks up and just fucking falls right into me, and she was tiny, and I just caught her. I was like, whoa, and I'm like, you all right? She was like, where's the bitch on the poster?
Mind you, I'm sitting right behind him, and I was like, "Oh God, how is he going to play this one off?"
Yeah, and I'm sitting there just like, I'm sorry, what? And she's just like, I want to meet the bitch on the poster. I want to, and then you want me to tell me what she had? You want me to tell her what she asked?
Yeah.
She asked me, she goes, is that a man? and that's when I was just like, what? No. That's a man. There's no woman that tall. And I'm just like, oh my God, I want to meet her. Where's she at? And I'm like, you are just crazy because she's right there. Literally. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, she's sitting right behind me. And I'm like, you know what? She took the rest of the day off as she went home. She was feeling a little bit tired. So okay, well, I want to meet her. And then I'm like, whatever. And it kind of just blew her off. What did you say as she was walking away? You said something to her.
Oh, I said, I heard the widow has a big dick or something like that.
But she gets that stuff. I mean, just when I've been around, I'm just like, oh my God, it's got to be so annoying. But it just kind of comes with the territory. Yeah. You know, when you have you're almost at 900,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah, like 850 around there coming out. Yeah.
So it's really something that's taken off, and I mean, you know, it's crazy, but it was great having you on, and yeah, let's check it out. What we talked about, the character of Warden's widow. So if you could, share how you developed the widow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember when it first started. I know when I was reaching out, I think you guys had added me to like the actor page or something, and people were throwing out ideas of like, hey, you guys should look into actual people that were here at the prison so we can kind of like keep that story alive and keep the theme kind of cohesive. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say names, but I found...
Let's keep names out of it, but you can just,
So the wife of the warden that used to be here, I kind of looked into her story, and there was some rumors that kind of online about like how she had passed away and how that was involved. And so that kind of gave me a storyline to go with. Now, granted, people that are in line looking at you in a haunted house, they don't care about the backstory, but it kind of gave me a reason for me to be like this vengeful bitch and like kind of looking down on everybody. So I kind of ran with that. That was back when we had like the entire family. I had an actual warden that was with us at that point.
Yeah. Killed him off.
I did. I killed him off. That's why I'm the widow. But it was fun. Like I found out later that we were going to have a warden, and I didn't even know that this was going to be a thing. I just, came up. It was Barry at the time. I came up to him and said, hey, I want to be this character. And he was like, oh, that's funny. I want to be the warden. So it kind of worked out where we built this family thing. And then as years later kind of went on, I killed everybody off, and now here we are. So
yeah, you're like the Black Widow. You kill everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm just an angry bitch.
So did you have an idea, like, I know Matt does your makeup. So did you have an idea, like, did you say to him, this is kind of what I want to look like, or did you guys kind of just go back and forth?
The widow, I wish I had pictures. The widow has gone through a dramatic transformation.
Oh, yeah.
When I first started looking for a costume for her, I wanted it to be based off of like a 1910, kind of 1920s school teacher. So that was back in the days when I had like that white button-up, ruffly shirt and like this really long black skirt. It was a very different look. The wig was a lot smaller at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how it started. I had developed a makeup, so that's pretty much been consistent throughout.
Right.
But from there, it went to a wedding dress, which I adored. That was like one of my favorite parts of her. And then obviously we took the wedding dress and had it done into what it was last year.
Yes.
And I think that was 2 years I've done it with the red and sleeves and all that.
Which looks amazing.
So shout out to Sven Puss Productions out of Chicago. They're the ones that did that costume. They're incredible. I highly recommend them. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but they are working on a new costume, so she's going to be a little different this year. So
yeah, the widow's going to have some major tweaks.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm
so excited. So yeah, so definitely stay tuned for that. Definitely a dramatic transformation. I think I have like one video on my TikTok where I go through the transformation. It's like you look at what she was, and now it's like wow, dramatic difference.
Absolutely, evolution of the character. Man. My God, your wig.
Oh my God.
Oh. That was so, just seeing that picture, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then you did the video even to the one now, right? Where it started.
Yeah.
The widow, how she looked in the day from day one to today's widow. And it's just like, I remember I remember the first one going, oh man, this is killer.
Yeah,
You know?
literally. I was so excited about it. I was like, I love this. It's so badass. And like the wig and everything. And now I look at the wig and I'm like, what the fuck are we thinking?
I tried to buy that wig.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
The wig now, the last 2 wigs have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was so good. So talk about the widow, like, are you involved with Sven Puss as far as like what it's going to look like, how it's going to be?
Yeah. So they have casting pieces, like a website that they sell things, but they have a couple commissioned spots every year. And Brian actually is the one that introduced me to them and was like, this is the look you need, like, go for it. So I reached out to him and just kind of said, like, this is what she is. This is what we want her to be. And they threw the idea out of doing red. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Because the dress at that point was kind of like maroon and stuff like that. And I remember when I got it, I tried it on and it was like not anything like I expected. It was just so out there because, I mean, you saw what the costume was, you know? So this was like just out there and loud and like just kind of demanded a presence, basically. So yeah, it again, just kind of being involved in that, and they would send me pictures and these are the colors we're thinking. And basically they even redid the wig and built the headdress right into the wig so that it's more actor friendly and I can move around and not be worried about this stuff falling out all the time. And,
right.
So they really have done wonders for her.
Oh yeah.
So
it's gorgeous, man. I mean, when I remember seeing the red sleeves, and I was just like, oh man, that is that's going to take it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really did. And the new one this year, and now you got the hands.
Yes.
It's killer, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a great job.
It's funny just like how that character has really blown up. It's not funny, but I'm just saying it's like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
When that first guy did that TikTok and he got 1 million views of you screaming into the cell.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think his name's Chuck. He's from New York. He texted it. He sent me the link and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "Dude, look at the views."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy shit, wait, 1 million?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yes, it's nuts." And I was just like, and then it, and then when you started yours, I don't know where that picked up from your TikTok or however, but it was just like you're telling me like, "Oh my God, I'm just getting them like mad."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is
all
nuts.
happened really fast.
Yeah, but it's cool though because now everybody knows who you are wherever you go.
Yeah. I love going to the grocery store and, hey, oh my God, it's the Warden's widow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's well, and again, I even get that just like I go to the bank and they're like, "Hey Vic," I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" So tell me, what's this Warden's widow? I'm just like, what about her, man? What do you want me to tell you? I don't know. She's cool, man. But like they legit ask me a lot if I wear a Blood Prison shirt somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the questions I get.
That's crazy.
Is she really that tall? Yeah.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
Really? She doesn't wear stilts? Nope.
I don't even answer that question anymore on my TikTok. I'm like, if you can't read my bio, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It literally says I'm 6'7". Yes, really.
Yeah. So do you ever desire to do a different character?
I have a couple that I do for TikTok, and it would be fun to do them, but I mean, she's kind of a thing, so
This is what it is right now.
Yeah.
Created a monster.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. Yeah.
House last year, we did this billboard with Andrea on it, the widow, and it was awesome. And it's that one. She just and she's got her arms out, and she's doing the scream or whatever. I had a person that called and said that we had 2 days to take the billboard down, and it had scared her son or daughter, scared their kid
on Route 30.
It was the one on Route 30. Yeah. It scared them and they had nightmares.
Of course.
So we have 2 days to take this down. So they're telling me this and I go, okay, 2 days. Then what? What if we don't do it?
Right.
And I was just like, I told her about it. I'm like, we've made it.
That's
right. Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah. It's like, we're giving kids nightmares on billboards. So we're good to go. We didn't take it down, of course, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was. And it's I mean, I am 100% grateful to your character, the Warden's widow. It really adds a new element to Blood Prison, like we talked earlier about not only the building, but now they're really noticing what's going on with the Halloween event, you know, and it's great. I mean, it's, you know, and we worked well together. She helps, like, we promote, and, you know, it's really fun doing that. And it makes it even better when, you know, because whenever anybody asks me, like, no, she's great, dude. She's super nice. She's humble. You know, there's no ego issues, anything like that. She's really cool about everything. And you don't get that a lot of times. Some people let things go to their heads, and Andrea's not like that. So it's really good having her play this character and be a part of the prison. It's, you know, it's amazing. You know, it really is. It's a lot of fun. So we kept the blood prison stuff going, and trying to show a little love to, you know, some of our zone leaders. I had a podcast where I brought in 2 of my zone leaders, George and Allison. And, you know, that George and Allie have been, George came on, I think 2018, and which is the year you started. And then Allison had come on in 2017, which was my first year. Well, it's my first year running the prison haunt. So, you know, they, you know, worked their way up and became zone leaders. And I wanted to do a show with them, and I kind of wanted to show them, like, what some of the stuff we had done with them in previous years. So we kind of took a little walk down memory lane, and we showed some pictures of George and Allison back in the day when they first started. Let's check that out. This is actually, this year we did this photo shoot with Abe from Blindside. Whoa, what do we got there? Whoa, they're gone. But we did a photo shoot with.
Really good photo of me.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, there it's back. With Abe from Blind 7, he does all of our video production and photos. We did this thing with Fearworm where they wanted to do a. It was almost like a lineup, you know, and you hold your sign up or whatever, and then we did a post where it was like, "Who scared you?" We did you, George. We did one on you and Allison, Andrea, and Zach.
Ronnie. Jen.
Did we have Ron? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, and Jen. So when you, oh, never mind. But that was just, that's kind of a more recent photo, and I just kind of wanted to go through some of the photos that we had over the years and see what we got. Sarah, let's see another one. Let's see the next photo here. So that's George. I think that's your first year, isn't it?
That's my first year.
Wearing a latex appliance.
Yes, that's a full face latex appliance that was done by Josh Campbell. Shout out to Josh.
Yeah.
This, I guess, was an idea that Vic and Josh had put together for the prosthetic of the full face of the clown, and I was their clay to mold. That was my first haunt character ever, right there.
Yeah, and it was good, and you wore that because it was just it was yours for the season.
Mm-hmm. I still have it.
You still have that?
I
Nice.
do. It's in great shape.
We'll have to do a throwback one day.
I'm
of course, you're not in the clown area, so your area's all apocalyptic and solitary. But that was like really cool. Josh did a great job on that. Looked great. Were you in the zombie mosh pit for that? Yeah. I loved it. I loved the hair. He was telling me about it, and I was like, yeah, dude, that's gonna be killer. I can't remember where we got that prosthetic from. I think it was Screamline is where that came from, if I remember right, but I'm not 100% sure. What's the next picture here, Sarah? Oh, look at that guy. Who's that?
Oh, shit.
That's George
on
snap. Stage. That's right.
Oh, snap.
So most people, if you don't know George, he also is a performer.
Mm-hmm.
He does the hip-hop stuff. And he actually, you did a song with the guy that's going to be on Ink this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
Yep. Shout out to Bubba.
Yeah. So that's interesting. How does that happen, George? You gonna like lay some rhymes for us right now? Let's go. Let's hear it.
Well, you know, I'm on iTunes and Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, anywhere you can buy music, I'm there.
And it's Snap, yes?
Yes. SNAP, Snap.
I gotta pay George. He's like, you gotta pay me. I'm an artist.
That's right. Royalties, baby. Now this photo was taken in Mansfield, actually, at the electric company during a benefit show for, I don't know.
I think I was there.
I think you were too. And Josh Hoskins was there.
Yes, he was.
Nice.
There was a tragedy that happened here in Mansfield, and a little girl lost her life in a house fire.
Okay.
And this photo was taken from that benefit show to raise money for that family.
Nice. Very good. Sarah, let's see the next one.
Yeah.
Now see, there's another recent one. This is the whole crew. These are all my zone leaders. Minus, like, you guys, each of you guys have an assistant, like, to help you guys out with breaks and everything. But these are my main zone leaders. That's George up there in the top, and of course Jen there on the left in the doll makeup. We got Megan holding the as the elf holding the clown head, and of course Allison there on the right. Megan is the zone leader in the clown area and in the east cell block. Unfortunately, I don't have 4 microphones. I only got 3, so I had to bring you guys on. But I think we'll get Megan on here at some point. I got an idea that would be fun for Megan. But that's our zone leaders right now. So you will see those guys. That's our Christmas event. The very first time we did a Christmas show, that was the makeup for that. Jen's wearing a different dress there, and the makeups are all just a little more festive. Do you guys like the Christmas incarceration?
It was fun.
I did. I loved it.
Yeah, that was pretty killer. Pretty killer. Is there another picture, Sarah?
No, I think that's all I have.
Okay, yeah, that's all right.
I was about to get scared. I was really scared you were going to bring out some paranormal pen pictures.
I couldn't find any. Yes! You know what I mean?
You should have left me to that. I would have got them.
That was scary.
But that's good stuff. Yeah. So I mean, I love the Christmas show. I'm so excited to do that again. But that was a good time for sure. So yeah. So George and Allison, like I said, have been with me a long time, 4 or 5 years. And just kind of wanted to show them some love because they do a lot. The zone the zone leader stuff is it kind of goes the next step, like just from staying in a scene. They're not queue line actors, but they got a responsibility, make sure everybody's got water, make sure everybody gets a break, make sure everybody's good to go. If they need help in the scene, they go in and help out. So it's not the greatest job in the world to have, but those guys do it well. Jen is an OG. She's been from house back in the day with the Mad Effects Lab.
That's right.
She's been with us. So she's, up in the house, and then of course Megan in the East Cell block. But you need them when you're a big haunt like we are. You need those zone leaders. Andrew's a zone leader of the queue line actors. That's the joke we say.
No, that's a lie. Nope.
But I mean, it's you need them. You need that support system, and they're really good. And they've come a long way. This last year especially, they've they're really open to like anything I tell them. So it's good having them on board, and then so it's like me, Brian, and then them, and it's kind of a chain of command. But they really do well at in their zones as far as like what they do with their actors and how their actors run and what they're going to do in their scenes. And they started doing our acting classes just this year. That was actually Brian's idea. When we were talking about who we were going to bring in to like shows, like, well, let's bring in some people like we always do. And he's like, I think the zone leaders can do it. And I was just like, it's actually not a bad idea because we take them to HauntCon, we've taken them to Transworld, they've taken tons of classes on how to train your actors and everything. And I think they're doing a pretty good job. So I'm really happy with those guys, and they've been with me for a while, so they're like family, just like you guys. You know what I mean? So, it's really hard in house. You can attest to this. It's not just one person. In the early days, it really was. It was not just me, but like it was like me and Weave, and house. It was like I didn't have the system under me that I have now. I've kind of grown into it. And they're a big part of that, you know what I mean? You need them. So it was a lot of fun doing that.
They take responsibility, and so do actors. And like if they like a certain zone or a certain character, and then when they becomes their own, or like that's my area or that's my character, they really step up and go the extra mile.
And sometimes they'll even do like competitions between the area, East Block, and they love doing that kind of stuff. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah. And it's good. It's really good. And Andrea, even you were in the East Block.
Yeah.
When you started, she wasn't always the widow.
Yeah.
She started out in the East Block, I think by the church there.
Yeah, I was in the cemetery right before the church.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, they all started out kind of somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, it is. It's a nice support system to have, and it's nice to know that I'm not going to get every single call. Mm-hmm. It's like I tell them, like, you got it. Exactly. If you can't handle it, call Brian. Right. If Brian has any issues, then he'll call me.
Those guys can handle it.
They can. They can. They're great. Mm-hmm. So after we had them on, we're almost at the end. After I had them on, I have to talk about this guy. He just recently, he was just here a few days back. Brought his son in because his son wanted to see the prison. A friend of ours, we've all met him. We all had dinner after we did this podcast. I think we all met up and had dinner together. Gino Gino Crognale on, and he's an Emmy-winning special effects artist. He was on The Walking Dead.
Actor.
As an actor, as an effects guy, he's been on thousands of movies. I mean, he's been on anything that's great. You can bet Gino's been there.
That is correct.
And the thing about Gino is like what I was just saying about you, the humility. He's so humble.
Mm-hmm.
He's just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, even to this day.
Yes.
He really is. And he's just a good dude. And I met him on The Rage about the same time I met you. Or actually, no, I met Gino before that. I met Gino. Yeah, I did.
Doing the haunt stuff or the radio.
The radio stuff. Yeah. Him and Bob came in and we did an interview because they opened a little haunted attraction, and that's when I first met him. But that was like then I met him at the haunt. But then after that, when we started doing the movie stuff, it became he became kind of he lives in Pennsylvania, so he would come over and stay in Crestline and do the sculpts and the makeups and all that stuff. And we talked about a lot of stuff about The Walking Dead and everything. So let's check out Gino. On The Walking Dead, so you won an Emmy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
How was that experience like?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been, my whole career has been a long run. And I never did it for any accolades, honestly. I never did. I did it because I appreciated the work. I like doing something that that I love, that I can get paid for and make a living.
Absolutely,
it was all that stuff. And I lived in LA for 20 years, just so much. And I never even thought about awards. And there were times where, I've worked on award-winning things, but never won one. Just one of that. So I never really thought about it. But then when I started on Walking Dead, and that year it got, you have to submit the episode to the Academy. Excuse me. And they vote whether you make it to the finals. Anybody can submit.
Right.
And then they get it down to I think maybe five finalists, and out of those finalists, you hope you make it. So it was the first time I was nominated, on the ballot. So it was wonderful. My wife and I were flown out by AMC.
That's awesome.
First class and red carpet. It was a wonderful experience, and we friggin' win the damn thing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. You're sitting there and your category comes up. And I remember Vince Gilligan presented. He's the creator of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
And your heart's just pounding out of your tucks. You're just sitting there you almost can't hear. You almost can't even grasp the moment because your adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard the walk, the first syllable of The Walking Dead, then we knew we had it. And we jumped up and kissed my wife. Then you're escorted up. And it was amazing. You stand there, you don't have the trophy yet. You're just standing there and you're looking out of just thousands of industry people.
Sure.
And you're like, this is kind of cool, man. I wasn't expecting this, but this is kind of cool, So it was fun. It was really, and it's sitting. I have two things that are very special to me. One is the Emmy, and on the other bookshelf, I have a signed autograph of the statue of Stallone in Philly.
Yeah.
That's by the Art Museum.
Yeah.
I have a small scaled one. It's about 22 inches high.
Yeah.
And I worked on Creed 2.
Yes.
And Stallone signed it for me.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's so cool. So I have that on one and the Emmy on the other. And they're my two favorite things.
Yeah, Gino, he was telling me about the whole Emmy experience, and deserved. You can't deny that at all.
There's a lot. We could do a whole episode just talking about Gino.
I did, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was. From any kind of movie that he was on, from the Kill Bill, the Quentin Tarantino movies to The Walking Dead, name it.
All right, some extra trivia. If you've seen House of a Thousand Corpses, which everyone has, he's the face on the cover.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
that ghoulish bandaged face is him.
Yep.
He's also the robot junkyard zombie that Rick fights in The Walking Dead, and that junkyard brawl. Winslow.
Yes,
that's him as well. He's played several zombies or the walkers on The Walking Dead, but his resume is a legendary since the movie Troll. Back in 1984, everyone's seen Troll, all the Empire films. I know his resume inside and out. And,
Kind of weird.
So yeah, Dino is he is all of that, and he's a great friend and
yes, absolutely
inspiration and incredible sculptor.
Yeah,
and he's just like he's I always compared him to like just like a master baseball hitter. The guy like you can throw any pitch at and he just hits it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like Gino.
Yeah.
Whatever he's going to do, he's going to hit it out of the park.
Yeah. Well, and it's great working with him because he's just another guy, but he's done all this cool shit. You know what I mean? He's done all this cool shit, and he talks to you like you've known him for your whole life.
Yeah.
He's just that kind of a guy. He's that kind of an individual.
I noticed that when I met him. Like you said, he's done all this incredible shit, but he just talks to you like it's just you and I, and it's like, that's really cool.
It is. And he's like, he was here, it was a few days back. He had brought a sculpt. He does sculpting for Creature Core. He'll sculpt a mask for us every now and again when he's not working. And it's just like, I remember when he first started coming to the shop and we were working on the New Mexico movies and just watching him create that stuff. And I would always be like, oh, sorry, Gino. And he's like, oh, it's all right, because it was the same thing. I just sit there and watch and, watch him doing it. And, I imagine that gets kind of annoying when someone's like, but I was like, dude, that's so awesome. Just how do you do that? Because I'm not artistic in any way. I can't do anything. But just watching him doing that and just make it into this gorgeous piece that then they molded and, create. And I was like, man, it was just an honor to see, honestly. Really was. Yeah, and we talked about that, and we got to do that. I want to do that show.
Yeah.
Me, you,
gotta
Brian, and Gino.
Yeah.
Like just sitting in here, and I'll just listen to the LA stories.
That show's gonna go off the track.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a long one. Yeah, but we're gonna make that happen because I am really want to see that happen. My last podcast I did was with a guy who is you know him. You've been on his show Tuesday at 7. I think I've done it. Did Brian do it Tuesday at 7?
I don't know.
I thought he did. Maybe he did. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But he's done so many of them. But I was on it, and his name's Roger Miller. He's been around for a long time. I had him on the podcast. Sweet guy, really nice. He brought a bunch of stuff. I mean, he brought all this stuff in with him from like his career of doing the makeup and the haunting and everything. And it was a really fun episode. And I think that might have been my longest episode because we just sat here and just kept talking. Next thing you know, someone's like, dude, you're about 3 hours in. I was like, holy shit. Okay. But it was great. There was a few people. I know him and Katie and Abe. Like after the show was over, we sat here and talked for like another hour, just after the cameras are off and everything. And we sat here and that was Roger because he can talk about that. Just like we were talking all night long, we could do it. We could have done a 5-hour episode, but here's what we talked about on Roger Miller's show.
And,
like
and
you said, Tuesdays at 7.
Tuesday at 7, yeah.
Is a Facebook group. And it's great because, I was on it about a year ago, maybe. It was around a year ago.
Yeah.
You came down.
I came down. And listen, that's one of my favorite videos. And with technology right now, you could put a phone on a tripod.
Yeah.
Right. And you can walk and move around.
Yeah.
And have and so we were able to even walk through Solitary, the Silence of Solitary on film, and now that it's shot, we have it forever.
Yeah.
Right. And it was if you're surrounded by some cool opportunities and some cool people like I know you, to get that down and record. Like if you don't do it, it's going to be lost. Listen, things move fast, so I try to capture it whenever I can.
And it's cool that you can do that now, because like you did the one with me here.
Yeah.
And I remember over at the shop, this is probably a couple years ago, you did one with Dave Greathouse.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was there that night. I think that's when I first met you, and I was like, oh, hey. And then I left. But then you guys did your thing there, and then I remember, you just did one with Rick Thomas just the other day.
Yep.
So it's like you can go all these different places. Where did I see one? The other one I saw recently, it almost like I used in somebody's backyard. I can't think of who it was now. I don't remember, but you were in, or maybe it was a museum. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it's just, that you can do all those different things and how, by doing the Tuesday at 7 thing, how you're sharing, I mean, not just haunted house, stuff, but like anything in the arts.
Anything
That's
creative.
great. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, it's really good. It's really good stuff.
I think that one of the things people are like, why do you even do that, that show? And it's fulfilling, and I'm surrounded by such amazing makers and creators.
Right.
Like their stories need to be told, and I think that's something that if nobody watched it, I would still do it.
Yeah.
Because the story is like, I don't know. This is going to sound a little hokey here, but I'm going to shoot straight. Like it feels like a gift when somebody shares their story, right? And I think people go through their lives, most of their lives, and nobody really ever hears their story,
right?
Right? And you're like, well, tell me where this started. How did you get there? What was your feelings about this? What was your inspiration? Did it come from your parents? And just to walk through that, like. To me, questions come naturally because I'm honed in and I want to hear that story.
Yeah.
And if nobody else watched it, it was just me hearing that story, I would absolutely do it.
You're fine with
I would
that,
absolutely do it. Yeah, because hearing the stories, it makes it all worth it. And,
I agree.
And over years, I don't know, 200, 250, really talented people that I've had a chance to sit down with. It's been an incredible, incredible ride. And the collaboration that occurs. Again, all I do is grab my phone, hit the live button, right? And it's unproduced, it's raw. I'm not trying to do I don't have any type of nice gimbal, I mean it's
right.
shaky, people if it was Blair Witch, I'm feeling a little sick here, right?
Yeah.
But I mean it's raw on purpose and
it's
unproduced on purpose. And at least the folks who watch it say, when I watch it, they usually watch it on their phones, usually with earphones, and they go, "It feels like I was there with you guys." And so as a result, I mean, I'm going to keep pressing the button probably until I get booted off of Facebook or until something else happens or opens up. But it's been a great ride.
So you did his Tuesday at 7 show?
Yes, and I've known him since the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s and heard of, he came into Bloodview as a Legion of Terror actor, and immediately I left for Los Angeles around the time he was coming in, but all my friends are Roger Miller, came back, and he was just like consummate professional and a great actor, a great makeup artist, and always beyond that, like back then, he was always throwing parties at his house. We started doing like Christmas exchange, like we make an art gift out of, Christmas meets Halloween or something. So he was always doing something, collecting artist friends, having gatherings or, some kind of exchange or art exchange,
right.
which he does. And so there's always something artistic that he's linked us into.
Right on.
And he does that, and like the commitment, you do this thing, like the commitment. Okay, it sounds fun. Oh, yeah, I want to do a podcast. Oh, yeah? Well, you want to know the hard work or the dedication that you have to devote into it,
Right.
It's not just like a one-off, So week after week after week, he's interviewing artists. I think that's pretty amazing.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool that he does that, yeah. And it's, as far as, like, Tuesday at 7, he doesn't just do haunted house stuff.
No, anything artistic.
It really is, yeah.
So I like
that's what makes it good.
Yeah, I watch.
Yeah. That was a good one. Like I said, we kept talking for a long time, and it was that was the last one. I haven't been doing as many of the shakedowns because we've just been so busy at Creature Core. Ink was coming up, so I haven't been doing as many. But man, it's been such. I did this because I just like talking to you guys. I like just sitting. I would do this if you guys said, "Hey, let's go chat." I'd just do it. Mm-hmm. I just love sitting around and shooting the shit about whatever. And that's all it was. It was really just kind of an idea to talk about Halloween, horror, and haunted houses.
Sorry. That's how I feel about that.
There you go. But it was, that's kind of why. And I used to, like I said, I used to do radio. So it was just something that, I don't know, I just kind of I thought would be fun. And I knew a lot of people that would be cool to get on, like, you know, you two, and just hear what you have to say, hear your stories and how the Widow started and where you started special effects. And, you know, I think people dig it. You know, I don't have, you know, 9 million followers like some of these places, but it's not really what it's about for me. It's more about just, you know, kind of having fun. And that's if there's anything I try to tell anybody about like what we do, it's like at the end of the day, it's work, but it's fun. I mean, people talk about like haunt drama. We've all had to experience it, you know, but it's something that's really foreign to me because I just feel like it shouldn't be there because we're not, you know, I've said this many times, we're not curing cancer, you know, we're running a haunted house. Let's have some fun. Yeah. Let's let other people have some fun scaring people. Because that's all the people want to do when they come in is they want, at the end of the day, they want to have a good time. Yeah. And it was just, you know, kind of where I'm at. That's just who I am. You know, I just always, no matter what I do, I want to have fun. And this is fun to me. You know?
Good. It is fun.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
Yeah. I agree. 100%, man. 100%.
To have this fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, what else would you be doing right now if you wasn't doing this?
Wow. Like a real question?
Yeah. If you weren't doing the horror Halloween stuff, what would you be doing?
I'd be a rock star, Vic. I'd be singing on stage in front of 1 million people.
I knew it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not really, but I want that. I'm not a good singer, but I love music. So if I weren't in this business, I love music. So I guess I would try to be or I always wanted to be a writer as well.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like moving into writing now.
Sure.
So, yeah. But it's all like the same. It's like the art business. It's
yeah.
Like, all right, music or painting or sculpting or acting or dancing, you know, directing, putting on a production.
Right.
You know, I really count it all the same, you know,
mm-hmm.
the creative entertainment business.
Yeah.
So, yeah, besides that, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I remember at the 1 year at the shop, we did a Christmas party and House wanted to, he's like, you got to make your gift. Make it. And I'm like, that's not fair, dude. I can't make anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not an artist. House like, yeah, you are, man. You do audio. You put sounds together. That's an art. And I'm just like, okay, what do you want me to do? Make you a mixtape?
And
I don't even remember what I did.
That's good. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you remember that though?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I like that. I said you got to make something.
You got to make something.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't remember what I made. It probably wasn't anything special, but that was an interesting way to spin on it. You know what I mean? To make your own gift for the. But it's an art, and growing up, I would have never thought, you know, I would be doing this. I didn't grow up thinking I want to run a haunted house, you know. But as life goes on and you evolve into certain things, that's how it evolved. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, this is great. Just when we just did the first ones over there, I'm like, this is fun. I dig this, you know. And that's kind of the claws were in, and I was in. You know, I was working a regular job.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you were.
It was. I still have my time card in there. That little clock in thing. I have that sitting on my desk because, you know, it keeps me grounded. You know what I mean? Because like, same thing I said is like,
dude, I remember when you went off and you were coming in, you were kind of miserable. You weren't enjoying.
No.
And
it was horrible.
And you really manifested.
Yeah.
All of this.
Oh yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You manifested it to reality.
Right. Well.
You did.
Yeah. I had to.
You did.
Yeah.
You succeeded at that.
Because I don't have a college degree. I don't have anything like that. So it was like I had to make it happen. You know what I mean? And I, you know, a lot of people say this, but I'm like, dude, I tell this people all the time. If I can do this, you can do it. I mean, simple and plain.
Well,
you know?
the credit, I'll give you a moment of credit here. You know, one of the reasons I'm still in town and we're still working together is because of you. You know, I mean,
thanks.
From the shop, you kind of keeping that together.
Yeah.
To the prison.
Yeah.
You keeping that together?
Yeah.
So we owe a lot to you, Vic, man.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man.
For sure.
I mean, but just the influences from you is kind of what helped me get there. You know, seeing that, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's the fun side of it is really what feeds me. I mean, it's that much. Like, I've had people come to me and like, I don't want to name names, but there's been people who worked for me before that would say things like that I favor Andrea because she's the widow, and I'm like, okay, what's your point? And they're like, well, why does she get to do this? And I go, okay, well, because she puts in the time. You know what I mean? It's just like do with your character what she's doing with hers, and then come and talk to me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like she has fun with this. She does this. She enjoys it, which makes it easy and a no-brainer. So that's kind of how I, when people talk to me about, what I'm doing, same thing. I'm like, dude, I'm having fun. I really am. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to, there's always stressful times, with anything, but it's like 90%, this is fun, man. This is fun.
Yeah.
Ink is fun. Yeah. Blood Prison, great time. We're going to have a little get together. It's all about that. It's all about, being, one unit.
Transworld.
Yeah, Transworld, fun.
Yeah.
We had fun at Transworld. We always, that's a lot of house. If you're going to be, you guys should have came over to the house that one night. Oh my gosh. House was on fire. But again, we were having fun.
Yes. We know how to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sure.
We do.
I love it. And I love you guys. I love that you're a part of my life and that we get to do this shit. Because I wouldn't trade it for the world. That's the truth. I love it, and it's just, I'm just honored, and now I get to do this kind of shit. It's just led from one thing to another, and it was a good time, and I'm going to keep it going as long as I can. As long as you guys are here, as long as you guys want to do it, I'm in,
Same.
Hell yeah.
I do. So what do you guys got coming up in the near future then, House?
Well, let's see. I really want, my next goal is to finish my movie and show it to as many people as possible. That's really this coming up soon. Festivals, hopefully this fall, winter. I want to direct again, badly, and make another movie. I want to keep being scary. I want to keep making monsters. I want to keep expanding my horizons, I guess, and and just keep growing as an artist, and I love, the scary stuff, and I'm kind of good at it. So
very true.
Keep it going, right?
Yeah, for sure. Andrew, you excited for this season coming up?
I am. I'm very excited.
So am I.
Yeah.
I'm excited to we're doing this new time ticketing thing. So we bit the bullet. We're going to do time ticketing so we can not have these giant lines outside that people are waiting 4 and 5 hours to get in, because that's what we were kind of notorious for. But I'm really excited to, with your character, to see how it goes off with the new costume and everything. Because last year, I know you spent a lot of time not only in the lines getting pictures, but like you came back in and you're like, I want to go in, and it's like, yeah, hell yeah, go for it. And I'm excited to see that going on as well.
Yeah.
People were really digging seeing you in there rather than just outside.
Yeah. I try to listen to people, and that was a lot of feedback that I got from the previous years. Is it's cool to see her in the line, but we want to see her inside. So
it was good.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just, again, amazing how people just like come. They want to see the widow. It's just like, well, now you're gonna see her. You can drink some coffee.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff with the widow on it, and it's people love it, man. I've got a couple shirts, a hoodie. It's good stuff, man. And I'm just, again, honored to be a part of it. So, yeah, 1 year of doing this. Couldn't ask for 2 better people to spend the anniversary show doing it with. I'd love to have you guys back on. I know I'll have you back on at some point. But yeah, Blood Prison 2022. Yes. Tickets go on sale.
When does it open?
It opens September 24th. You can get tickets August 1st. We're going to have them up online. I want to thank Ticket Spice. They're my new ticketing company. Sent us this beer for joining. So thank you, Ticket Spice. I'm empty. But we're going to do the time ticketing this year. I kind of want to get that out there as well. So there's not going to be all that craziness. There'll still be a lot of people, but it won't be, right at the beginning of the night. There's going to be a line all the way down the road, and people are going to be waiting forever and ever. So that's going to be interesting. I'm really excited for that as well.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. And we're going to have House come over and guest act some nights.
I will. I got another idea that I want to throw by you off camera.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. For the season.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool. I'm all ears.
You got it.
So we're going to have to get off camera here real quick because I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I've got some cool stuff, too, that I want to talk about off camera. Sorry. We'll talk about it down the road that involves Andrea.
What?
That she did. I don't know if she's even aware of yet. But we'll talk about that on a future episode of the Shakedown. But again, I want to thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
House and Andrea coming in. Blood Prison Shakedown. Blood Prison 2022. Let's have a good season, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.